Mother, man.
Hey, this is Brian Ward of the Dark History and Horror Convention, and you are listening to Murder, Metal, Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder, Metal, Mayhem!
I just want to punch myself in the dick when I hear that.
I couldn't resist, Joey.
Cash it, dude.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's good to be back.
Fuck yeah. What is going on, you crazy motherfuckers
right.
out there listening, dude?
That's right. Got a pandemic going on. We're just saying fuck it. We're just getting together on Tuesday doing episode 92. Crazy feature tonight, Chris. You came up with this one, dude.
Hey, man, when I first heard
Holy
about this shit,
man.
I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, this dude, like, killed his girl, killed himself, then he's got her chopped up. Like, the note in the pocket is eerie as fuck, bro.
Yeah, it's a really good story, so looking forward to doing that. Got a special guest in here with us tonight, Brian Ward of the Dark History and Horror Conventions here with his daughter Cheyenne. What's up, Brian? How you doing?
What's up?
What's going on, man? I can't
Cheyenne,
do all
how
the
you
metal stuff,
doing?
sorry.
Yeah,
She's doing
cool.
all right.
She's
She's
like,
just
sitting
shaking her
dude.
head here.
Right, she's
She's old enough to know
these
that we're all fucking
motherfuckers are
stupid.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
we're sorry in advance. And then, of course, we have our sidekick here last 3 weeks in a row. He won't leave. Joey Goremonger with us in studio.
Riding the pandemic out.
Right.
Dude,
Hell
yeah.
riding it out.
That's right.
Hey, what else you got to do other than sit at your apartment, sit at my place, or come to a
Dude,
podcast?
last night, like, I was about ready to go. It was late last night, probably like 10 or whatever, and we were sitting at Chris's, and all of a sudden I get a fucking text, and it's Clay Lesko down in fucking Pawnee, and all he says is, I just want to punch myself in the dick. And dude, I just started dying.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was wondering if anybody was giving you any shit about that.
That's
That's funny.
fucking good, bro.
That's
Hell
great.
yeah.
So, yeah, very, very cool to be in here doing this. Last week, had a good one on that Black Death feature. We had Joey here with us. Definitely went for the jugular with that one because with the legit pandemic going on
with
around
everything's
us.
going on right now, and then you hear about what happened back in the 1300s. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, shit.
Yeah, a little bit worse, that's for sure. So the stay-at-home order seems kind of pussy compared to a plague that wiped out half of Europe. You know, that definitely...
I'll be an
Pretty
asshole and
harsh.
say I have 100% left my house every day.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's been a day I haven't gone. I've been working and
whatever.
I've been working at home, but I still, you have to go get. I have to go get my mail at the post office. I have no option. So.
I need to know my
I
mail.
have a piece of paper that says I am essential, so.
Oh, there you go. So we got 43 new likes on the Facebook page over the weekend. So definitely liking all that. So people apparently digging on that Black Death. Episode 91. So if you missed that shit, we just topped 1,000 listens here earlier today. So that's really awesome. A little bit better than a typical. But we're just shy of 2,500 total listens to all the episodes this last week. So thank you guys listening.
Yes.
It's really
keep
cool.
Spreading it like that. Hell yeah.
That's right. I think people being stuck at home, perfect, reason to drive numbers up. People are just kind of sitting around, smoking a lot of weed,
honestly have nothing
drinking
else
a
to
lot
do.
of beer, and just watching
Exactly.
Tiger King. And after that, you got to go take like 6 fucking showers and scour yourself with a Brillo pad, and then
my
take another
God,
6
dude.
fucking showers. What the hell with that dude? So, I mean, you can only do so much Tiger King before you're like, fuck this. So, Murder, Metal, Mayhem is a nice follow-up to Tiger King. I mean,
Yes,
honestly.
it is. Yes, it is. I got a fucking cat at home that just randomly said, like, I live with you now. I'm like, well, shit, this is my fucking
Damn.
cat. No.
Okay.
This motherfucker, a big-ass orange cat, is like,
Wow.
hey, I'm staying with you. This
Damn.
is trailer park life. What?
So now you really are Bubbles.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we had CK talking about the band Coroner, not Foreigner, Coroner. And we had the third week of the March Mayhem contest. And, of course, my parody song, My Corona. Now, check this out. I tried to upload. I did a music video for My Corona.
Right.
And I was trying to upload it today, and it wouldn't let me upload it with that fucking name.
Yeah, that's because it's black.
I was like, what the
Like,
fuck?
come on,
So I have to,
man.
I renamed the file and tried to upload it, and it was like, no, fuck you. So I don't know if I got to wait or if I've got to, because the first, the freeze, the graphic that you see when you post a YouTube video says My Corona on it,
Hey,
parody
like,
song or whatever.
We are not letting
Call
that
it My Corona, but make the O a 0.
Oh, there you go.
I'm telling you.
Well, I
ain't gonna
changed
lie.
it to just MMM
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't let me do it. But I'm wondering if that graphic, I don't know what it is, but I got to tweak it. So
That's fucked.
anyway, so you guys at YouTube can go fuck yourselves because whatever. I did a parody of it, and it's in last week's episode, so check that out if you missed it. Now, tonight, doing a feature on a thing I think a lot of true crime fans may not know about this because I know, Chris, when you told me about it, I had no idea. I know, Brian, when we talked about it, you didn't know about it either.
Yeah, it was news to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's an interesting case because not a lot of people know about it.
When I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is a real thing that happened. And
Yeah.
we need to talk about this.
Yeah, and it's really crazy. But Zack Bowen is a very, very crazy story down in New Orleans post Hurricane Katrina. And there's
during the hurricane.
during and then after, yeah, for sure. I bought the book about the subject by Ethan Brown called Shake the Devil Off. It was fantastic. So I think you guys are going to be in for a good one tonight. A wicked tale of murder, suicide, and cannibalism in the Big Easy. Definitely a sick one. A lot of good detail
Could
in
imagine
this.
being the cops walking into that motherfucker.
Wow. Yeah.
Brian, like,
Well, at least they had an idea, though.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
It's
that's
not like
true.
They had
Gacy's,
to
you have no
create-
idea. All of a sudden,
Right.
you're just like,
Right.
body,
Oh,
body,
shit,
body.
shit.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
But
it's
no, it would still
crazy.
have been fucked up, though.
Yeah.
The message, we'll get into all that. It's a good story.
It is a good one. So CK ready to go on Wildman Street in Danbury, Connecticut once a way. He's chomping at the bit to talk about Exhorder. And we'll have to tell him about his partner, CCK, causing some mayhem here in the
Yeah, he's
studio.
being a dick.
Because it's CK's birthday today,
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
CK.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I
So
can't wait.
we're going to talk to him about that.
That's awesome.
And the band Exhorder, of course, heavily influenced the band Pantera. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, we had this discussion.
Quite a few times.
Like, Pantera stole it.
Yeah.
But you know what Pantera did? They put up 5 platinum records.
There's that.
Yeah, they
There's
laughed all the
definitely
way to
that.
the bank, that's for sure. Since we've got a feature taking place in New Orleans, CK went with the New Orleans band, so I thought that was a good one. Exhorder, definitely awesome. They came out with that new album last year. I got a song to play from that later. He's got some more metal news, some more coronavirus stuff going on with bands, and it's kind of crazy. So stay tuned to that in the metal segment coming up. And we've got our big final match in the March Mayhem contest. Chris, we've been working on this all month of March, and so we are finally going to decide on a winner tonight. Got a good match, though, in the final, dude. Who is it? Going at it in the cage one last time.
Carl Panzram and Eileen Warnos, dude.
Nice.
Dude, me and Stephanie got this shit, dude. The weather's been good for me.
So you are playing for one listener, Stephanie from Toledo, Ohio,
Right.
and CK is the you two are left. I got excluded last week when Fish lost. But I am not in it, but CK is playing for Justin from Lexington, Illinois. So we're going to see who wins tonight. We'll decide, and it should be fun because we got Brian in here with us to talk about that whole matchup.
Yeah, I can't wait for
it's
this
gonna be
matchup.
fun. It's going to
kidding.
be
Brian's
fun.
already stated, he's like,
Yeah.
I got an idea about this shit.
Yeah, we've already had a little discussion, but we'll talk about that more in the Mayhem segment. So it's going to be a good one. Tonight, we'll see who wins the prize. And what is the prize, Joey? They get the big part of the prize.
Yeah,
is
they
what?
get a chance to be a co-host on the podcast.
Yeah.
Via Skype Messenger.
Yeah, come on in. via, like you said, Messenger is what we typically use, or Skype, and get them on and do a murder segment with us. And Chris even sweetened the deal even more. Let him
Yes, I
pick
did.
the topic. We could give him a list.
He didn't even know I was saying that.
Yeah, I was
He looked at me
no,
like,
I thought it was a great idea.
He looked at me like, you're oh, wait, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was really a good idea. So they get to pick the topic, and we'll do that. And we'll pick a week that works for them, to make sure everybody's schedules are good. So it should be fun to get a listener involved. And then the rest of the two other prizes are, T-shirt and the book and all kinds of stuff.
Stickers,
so,
everything,
totally
dude.
hooking them up. So
The only thing basically you're not getting is the fucking
co-host.
spot. Yeah.
Right. So we'll see how that works out. Also, don't forget about our adult activity book that we released a couple months ago, entitled "The Coffee Table Book That Should Be Nowhere Near a Coffee Table" for only $10.
Right. And now when he says adult, don't get me wrong, there's no like vaginal penetration.
Yeah,
or anything like
it's just
that.
the humor, because you're
right,
counting pubic
exactly.
hairs on a plate. You're coloring serial killers.
Right. And there's
serial
body
killer
parts.
word search.
I seen the picture that you posted.
Yeah.
Sent in.
Colors
That was
the
cool,
picture. Yeah, that was
Fuck
really
yeah,
cool.
dude. That was good as shit.
Yeah, that was
shit,
awesome.
My daughters have already colored pictures and that shit. Like, hey, Dad, look what I did in your book. I'm like, all right, cool.
So yeah, you got to get one. It's just a funny conversation piece. $10 plus $5 to ship it anywhere in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., just message or email us, and we'll find out the exact shipping, and you can just do it that way. We'll put a link in the episode description, so you can do that. Or you can go to Facebook, find us on there, and get the links to it from that. So we got articles that we each wrote, some good art from Dathan Engel.
Dathan
just
did a
good
great
stuff.
job on the art.
He did.
It's just a fun book.
It is.
Like, it's
Yeah,
something
it's
you
not meant
should
to be
have
serious.
just to be like, look what I got. This is fucked.
Yeah, and if
Love
you're
it.
stuck at home, dude, I mean, you can only watch so much Tiger King, before you, or cat videos on YouTube, or like people like tripping
Dude,
downstairs.
I
or
ain't
whatever.
lying. That shit, me and Cash was watching that fucking Pazuzu motherfucker. Holy fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy. There's a lot of good
you
stuff
need to
out
check
there.
that out.
But
Holy
this book
fuck.
would just be nice. You could color while you're watching that stuff.
Exactly. Make it bloody.
Thanks to our sponsor, spellboundaffectionart.com. Check out their amazing online catalog. Some Ed Gein inspired art.
Tony's
Brian,
got
what do you think of
all
this
that
stuff
shit.
here, man?
Yeah, that lamp is very wicked and just exactly what I'd imagine walking into a
Right, yeah,
farmhouse in
exactly.
Wisconsin. You know?
Walking into a farmhouse, he said.
And that
Like,
and
yeah,
that
No
forearm,
electricity, yeah.
that forearm is like legit, man.
It
I mean,
is.
that is like dense, like a real arm. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you can do a little smacking around on
You
whatever
could.
you want.
Boom. Hey, dude, we
You
got the
could.
dick
We got
somewhere.
Cheyenne there. We'll be nice
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll
We
be
do have the
gentlemanly.
severed cock,
We
though.
can make this shit really weird.
You can have the severed arm jacking off the severed cock.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
fucked.
So huge thanks to everybody out there listening. We really do appreciate. We thank you guys for doing that. Also, forgot to mention thanks to Bowen Anger Management for that last minute ad tonight.
I mean, it's a subsidiary, right?
It is a subsidiary of Benoit Anger
yeah.
Management.
Okay, that's what I
so the
thought.
Bowen Anger Management should be a fun little trip through down that whole deal. So it's pretty fucked up. So
I'm sorry, it got me. I figured that was the joke.
yeah. Did you show Brian our
I
Benoit?
see the back of Benoit.
Yeah,
Oh,
there it is. So
I figured there was only one wrestler it could be.
yeah,
Dude.
exactly.
Like,
so
who
we'll
else
have
would it be?
a lot of shit on our plate tonight. Got a crazy couple that loves to party in New Orleans, so things are going to get a bit weird. And it's a story though that needs to be told.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Chris,
man, let's get our fucking goddamn beaded titty murder on.
The waters have tried. The people need fire. Bring back the fire inside. The waters have tried. But we are united. On the sex, burning in the sky.
fuck yeah, man! Some new Creator. Gotta love
Metal.
some Creator. Got a new live album coming out, and that song 666 World Divided. definitely badass. So.
Shawback Nation 666.
There you go. We are in the murder segment. Still got Brian Ward here. He's staying on so far. He's not run out the
what's
door
going
yet.
on, Brian?
Now Brian's been in here before, so he knows the deal.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to have you here, Brian, and
Thank you. I'm glad
Cheyenne
you
along
guys
for the
invited me.
ride. And of course, Joey Goremonger in here still, of course.
I live here.
He
now.
won't leave. Yeah, he won't
He
leave.
said, I live here.
Yeah, I came out to throw the garbage. I saw Joey just in his boxers, just scratching his ass. And
Hey, I was
like,
weeding your
damn.
sidewalk for you. Though.
Look, it was clean though, right? I washed my hands, bitch.
Now, the feature in our murder segment tonight, the story of Zack Bowen, a guy that most of our listeners probably never heard of. 2006 murder-suicide involving Zack and his on-off-again girlfriend, Addie Hall.
dude.
What the
Like-
fuck, man?
Like they
Damn.
like came together at a weird time in life that just made it work out a little bit, but didn't really work out.
No, not at all. It's more like something out of a fucking horror movie, man. A crazy story set in New Orleans, which adds a whole different level of
Right.
fucked upness to this thing.
During Katrina,
Yeah,
like
throw that
Hurricane
in the mix. Katrina,
Like-
fucking
like,
natural
oh,
disaster. Lot of shit to chew on with this one, so it's a good story. Now, Brian, we were talking in the intro that you had said you had never heard of this one before, and you're a big serial killer /
Yeah.
true crime aficionado. So
Yeah, I like to think so, and people that know me like to think so. But
yeah,
as we were talking during the break, though, there's so many out there that I don't know
there's-
anybody that would know every single one of this.
no,
This
I don't
one,
think anybody
Somebody,
really
yeah,
could.
Even Cashman, dude, like same
yeah.
as you with this.
Yeah, we run
bowel
into some
shit.
that Pete brings up. I've never heard of.
Like
before.
who the
Yeah, and I
fuck
mean-
is that person?
This one definitely flew under my radar. I mean, I don't know if
Right.
I don't know what you guys think. If
And once you
Katrina
start-
stories maybe kind of glossed
Right.
over it, or
Once
or
you
what's the
started researching it after you heard
yeah.
about it, yeah,
it's fucked up, and
it is really fucked up.
Yeah,
but it brings
it's a crazy one.
I mean, there's definitely a lot for us to digest and talk about, and I guess digest maybe is a little bit of an inside joke.
yeah, for sure.
And
What's funny is I think one of the, like I told y'all that one show, Final. What was it, Chris? How come you can always remember it?
shit.
I can't remember. Anyway, so some YouTube show, and I caught
Right.
that, and that's where I had heard about it. But it's funny because I think
Final Witness.
Yeah, Final Witness. I think the original link, the whole reason why I even found out that story was because it was saying it was a take on true crime and the fascination with it.
Okay.
And it was a whole thing done because of this story, because afterwards, somebody ended up buying the place, and
Oh yeah,
Right.
so that whole thing,
Really
I think that was the
capitalizing
whole
on
reason,
that.
though. It wasn't even intentionally the murder. It was because of the
situation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the true crimes.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of layers. There's a lot going on.
Which is funny
here.
because now we're doing a true crime podcast.
That's right.
about it, so.
That's right. So the story actually begins at the end here. It's October 2006. The police in New Orleans get a call, and they called it a 29S, which is apparently the signal for a jumper or suicide, I should say, at the Omni Hotel. After Hurricane Katrina, the term I had read about, Katrina crazy. I don't know if you ever heard that, Chris.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of wild, but
I
they
was-
said it
I
was
never
very
s-
common.
Well, I mean, after Katrina, like people being stuck at home, like
Yeah,
in dire straits, basically.
Right.
Like I have nothing left to
yeah.
live
I mean,
for.
people are
Like,
killing
I'm
themselves just out of desperation. So
But this one was a little weird because it came from a different scenario.
right. So that's how they kind of had that term, and unfortunately, the police saw a lot of suicide there in New Orleans at that time, and like you said, Chris, like this apocalyptic type existence where there's no utilities, there's nothing. I mean, you're totally like Walking Dead style
Hey,
shit.
Brian,
you know?
dude. Like it's the apocalypse right now, and you showed up here. We're good, right?
I think so. I think so.
All right, cool.
I said, fuck it. What is it all the kiddies were saying on the spring break? YOLO or whatever?
He said YOLO or whatever. Fuck yeah, dude. I don't give a shit no more. Like,
Now, I should have asked you earlier, Brian. You haven't been here for a while. Did you like? I mean, we're always adding things
Oh
to
yeah,
the studio.
yeah. There's more
the
stuff.
fish mask and stuff. So
And I really dig it. I know Gacy was here last time.
Right.
But I don't think.
Did you notice the letter that I had up there by the Albert Fish mask, Brian?
I did not see that.
You'll have to take a look at that because I know you're going to know what that is.
I have little doubt that that's the Grace Bud letter.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did you
Not the
maybe
real
pick that up
one.
from St. Booth? Did he have
No,
a copy of that?
I just
No,
printed it off the internet.
Oh, I got you.
So yeah, it's not like a copy of the real. You can't even read the real one.
Yeah.
The handwriting's
Oh,
so
the
weird.
handwriting's fucking ridiculous.
So that's why I picked
Like,
that one because you can
Nice.
actually read it. But yeah, so I knew you would like that little touch there. So
And I mean the Gacy poster from
course,
Borowski. Yeah,
Borowski,
we've
yeah.
got a couple of those at home too. I got to get them put up. But
oh yeah,
I mean
that's
is
a great poster.
wicked
man.
artwork.
That is
Wicked
really
artwork.
good. So yeah, so you got a whole storm here brewing with this going on. Hurricane Katrina. Zack Bowen and his girlfriend Eddie Hall decided to stay behind instead of taking the advice of everyone to get the hell out because they got blasted. 2005 was when that hit in New Orleans. So really,
I'm not
bad.
gonna lie. I remember Katrina.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember when that happened. I wasn't there. Obviously.
This drunk motherfucker finally remembers something. We're like, duh, Katrina. You're like, I remember. We're like, yeah, we remember, bro.
Love that, dude. Catherine, you win this battle, sir. Fuck.
So yeah, they stay behind. I mean, no electricity, no utilities. It's like raiding, Walking Dead type shit, getting free alcohol where they could find it, staying drunk, for months, not having to work. They kind of got into it. I mean, they kind of preferred it, to be honest. And
It's like an extended camping trip. Is basically what
Yeah.
they were
I
saying.
think they
in a lot
were.
of shit.
They weren't together. I think he stayed with her through that. Like once the hurricane came,
I think
she
you're
gave
right.
him a place to stay, and then they got together during that time.
Oh, okay.
Because
Gave
I
his
think they
cock a
worked
place to
together. Like
stay.
he was a bartender and she was a waitress or something.
Yeah, I
something
think
in
you
that
might be
line.
right.
No,
yeah.
they were both bartenders.
Okay, yeah.
So, they both, though, had that thirst for cocaine, which really took this thing to a whole
He said
new level.
Thirst for cocaine. I love that.
So, consume a bunch of it, man. They were just like total cokeheads. Between drinking and drugs, they had not a whole lot of money for anything else. And they just really liked it. And when the residents actually moved back, they were pretty resentful of it. Did not like, kind of going back to normal. So kind of wild. Now, Joey, this sounds like some crazy shit here, just surviving however you can. And they had it a little bit worse than, us complaining that we can't go to a show or something like that. You know what I mean? When you think about it.
Oh yeah. No, that was a much harder situation down there.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the things I was reading, like there was a point, like you said, Chris, they came to where they were kind of cool with it though. They're like, okay, we're living off a barter system. We ain't got to work.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like,
You don't give a shit.
yeah, and they had each other at the time, but that's not how you want to be living. And there were people down there really, really fucked up.
Yeah.
Way worse than us sitting up here fucking crying because we can't find ramen noodles in our favorite flavor.
Son of a bitch, I can't get no chili
I'm gonna
ramen.
get the
This is
dollar
fuck.
store toilet paper. I can't get Cottonelle. God damn it. So Zach was originally from California. He was born in 1978. He's about your age, Chris. Pretty shy and awkward kid growing up. Parents split up when he was 12 in 1990, and his mom, Lori, moved to the Santa Maria area in California there with Zach and his older brother, Jed. I don't know if that was like a tip of the cap to the Clampetts or what the deal was with calling this kid Jed, but whatever the case may be. Zach was into Metallica, though. That was kind of cool. Hopefully back when they fucking had a fucking nutsack.
Oh, no. It was like he had a tattoo of one of their. What fucking song was it? Oh, Kill 'Em All. No regret. God damn it.
Oh, no remorse, no regret.
No, it wasn't that.
No?
Never mind. I'm fucking stupid.
So, so he was into metal and rock, type music. He was a guitar player. He gets, as a teenager, he got like obsessed with this Homecoming King. I wasn't quite sure what the deal was with that. The book gets into it a little bit. Really for whatever reason, had his heart set on this, and he
I'm
lost.
trying to be in the homecoming.
Yeah, and he
didn't get it.
He didn't get it, and he was all pissed, and he just kind of sank into a depression. And you know how it is being into metal, Joey and Chris, and Brian, the whole thing of metal's so bad, and in this case it almost looks
and people
bad because he gets kind of sucked into it,
Right, and people look at you like, oh, that's what you listen to? You're a fucking terrible person. I'm like, oh, but you go to church every day and you're worse.
Right, yeah, exactly. So he winds up moving in with his dad, Jack, and by now, fucking Zack is 6'10". I mean, holy shit. Handsome dude, big hit with the ladies. He and his dad do some cross-country traveling. They end up in New Orleans, so that's where he gets exposed to that. He really likes it there. Starts working as a bartender, as you mentioned, Chris, at some of the New Orleans bars. But he started out selling these Go Cups, Chris. I never heard of that before. I've never been to New Orleans, but where you take drinks like to go. So that was like his thing. And he was a hit because he's fucking 6'10", and you see him a mile away.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I ride in a vehicle, I have drinks to go.
Right, that's what I figured. Yeah, that's not a big.
But
that's not a new concept to you, but
for like French Quarter though,
yeah,
it's pretty
you're walking
dope.
around.
Yeah, you can walk around with which you can do in Vegas too. From certain areas. But
okay.
New Orleans is just like, oh, you bought a drink at this place, cool. I'm gonna leave now and walk down the street.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucked.
I know. You need to go there.
Let me try that in Bloomington. Be like, jail, boy.
Now, Brian, at 6'10", definitely not an inconspicuous guy in the French Quarter.
No, I imagine he was probably pretty easy to see.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, I don't think
Like Ed Kemper walking around.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like for real, like this giant motherfucker.
Jesperson, Kemper, and fucking Zack Bowen would be like a hell of a friggin'
Yeah,
basketball team.
Remind me on Jesperson. He's 6'8", right?
Yeah, I think him and
think
Kemper
so.
were the same height. So
Okay.
and Zack even a couple inches taller than them.
But
So.
Jesperson just like, I will never get rid of the thought of him tying a body underneath
Yeah.
the semi and just dragging around like, never gonna find him now.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what
we
the
just played
fuck,
the
dude?
Jesperson commercial the last episode, and I
Right.
heard that again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Dude,
God damn, that's
that
fucking
is
brutal,
so
man.
bad, dude.
So Zack winds up meeting a 28-year-old woman, Lana. That's a total stripper name there. And she was a stripper. That's why I said that. In the Quarter.
I dated a stripper once.
Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty all right.
Okay, that's cool. Lana and Zack hit it off big time. He lied about his age to the older woman who claimed she had no idea he was only 18. It was 1997, and then Lana ends up pregnant with Zack's son, who they named Jackson,
Right.
with an X, kind of cool. At first, Zack's totally into being a dad and spending a lot of time with the baby, but then that kind of wears thin. The financial burden kind of sets in, and he realizes this is fucking hard work. He calls his brother, who had recently joined the army. What's that?
Kids are always hard fucking
Well, yeah,
work,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying. Like, no shit, dude. You thought this was going to be
God
fun,
damn.
I mean, it is fun, but there's a lot of work involved to it. So he calls his brother who had joined the army and urged him to do the same thing. So Zack actually told him he would think about it, which kind of surprised his brother a bit. Didn't strike him as the army type of guy, but his brother joined. So Zack kind of thinking about it. But October of 1998, they get married, Zack and Lana. Nice ceremony. And eventually, though, he follows his brother Chris to the army in 2000 as a military policeman. An MP, so.
Hey, man, I wouldn't join the army.
No, I could not see you in the army at all,
Pete's like, I joined the army. I'm like, yeah.
There were all kinds of people in the army, and they definitely get you whipped up to the right way or you're done.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I'd be like, dude, I'm drinking, dude. Fuck off.
He wound up going to Kosovo in 2000, right after basic and his AIT. He did see some gruesome stuff, ends up getting on some details, bagging up dead bodies.
Right.
A buddy of mine that has PTSD horribly bad, He did that for like months over there.
Just
It was
bagging
either
up
Iraq
bodies,
or
yeah.
Afghanistan, and it was, oh my God.
like,
I mean,
dude,
really
I-
bad, man.
All I saw every day, all day was
Yeah,
bodies.
it's
Like,
fucked
that
up.
Would fuck,
Yeah,
that would
it's
definitely
terrible.
fuck a person up.
Yeah. He wrote some depressing letters back home to his mom and his grandma about his experiences over there. So Kosovo definitely fucking with him. He's also missing his wife and kids. Now, Chris, I definitely think the experiences that he had in the Army stayed with him. And we were talking about this in our meeting before the show. I mean, PTSD big time
it's
here.
not good. And it isn't even military, but I probably said it on the show before, but even my mom's got PTSD.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
not military.
No.
Like when mom and dad got in that accident in the
Yeah.
truck, and mom like straight up ran over the driver's side of a pickup truck driving the semi and killed this dude. Everything went up in flames. They
Wow.
lost everything other than mom and dad. So now mom's just scared to drive at night sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, she still does it, but at the same time, she's like, I'm never driving a semi again. Ever.
Right, right.
Like dad was sleeping in the back. So yeah, no, the PTSD, I
Oh, yeah.
understand from other people's perspectives. I've never had it personally,
Right.
but after hearing mom and dad shit after that wreck.
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
that,
No,
dude.
I mean, the accident I was in 2017, I had some issues with that. Not anything like what your parents went through, of course. But, Brian, I know we were talking about the PTSD part of this.
Yeah.
We'll get more into it as we go
Sure.
on. But you were definitely saying same thing. I mean, big time.
Yeah, yeah, and I think another point that might be that I mean, it just came to me when we were going back over that. If you're bagging up bodies in Kosovo and things of that nature, it's not just like maybe it would be a little easier if it was old folks or people you
Oh,
respect.
sure.
This
This
is
is-
just
These are people
every
your age.
kids,
I mean,
yeah.
you're basically
Yeah, it's
looking in the mirror every day,
everybody.
zipping these guys
Yeah.
up. I think that adds just another element that all these people are your age.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And
Your
you know
age-
you're not supposed to be dead.
Maybe
right?
older, maybe
true.
younger.
Yeah, even
So,
kids, too.
I think
That would be
messes
fucked
with you.
up.
And like you said, we'll get into it a little
So,
bit later.
yeah, no,
but
I get it.
Katrina
Yeah.
in New Orleans, they had bodies floating around
Yeah.
in the water all the time.
Right.
just
Yeah.
cemeteries
So,
washing
Chris, your
up.
point's
So-
well taken that it doesn't have to be just a military thing. I mean,
No,
it's
it-
post-traumatic stress.
Exactly.
Like my
So you have a
fucking
traumatic
life was
event.
fucked up for a second.
Yeah. So to be perfectly clear here, we are in no way making fun of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Definitely nothing to joke about. And as a veteran myself, I have several friends who have suffered from this. It's definitely really terrible. I was fortunate enough not to be deployed. I got hurt before that happened, but I had a couple of experiences while serving in the Army that might be consistent with some PTSD issues. But remember, it could strike anyone after a traumatic event. So if you're struggling with anything like that, get some help, please. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the United States, 800-273-8255. So Zach continues to have problems with the Army life. He's now stationed in Germany, but he's not with his family. He's not with Lana and Jackson.
No, Lana's got the kids to herself. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's tough on a spouse, too. I mean, that's the thing. It's tough on the military member, but the spouse who's dealing with the kid or kids at home with, limited income, on your own, it's tough. I mean, it really is a tough life. He's drinking heavily.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, at the same time, I get it. You want to see your kids, but at the same time, they're not available. So what do?
Right.
You take
drinking.
the time up. You fucking. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna get fucked up with my friends. What are you doing?
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and he's doing that. He's having problems with hammer toe, which is a problem a lot of soldiers get from wearing combat boots, and that's where the toe, which is usually the one next to your big toe, has an unnatural bend in it. And I had a couple of guys in basic training that got out of the Army because they couldn't wear combat boots. Messes with your feet. They actually give them to you like a size too small purposely so they fit really snug when they break in. So those first couple days are absolutely brutal, but then they start to work in and then you can actually wear them, but it's very uncomfortable. At least my
I don't
experience
even like
with
that
it.
concept at all.
No.
Nope.
So a lot of guys that had
Nope,
flat
don't like
feet
it.
or any kind of foot problems done. Now, Brian, I'm sure in your line of work in corrections, you could probably say that you've seen people, whether it be the customers or
Right.
the workers that have gone through traumatic events,
sure.
of course, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can. Some fellow guards that would talk about some instances, and it was. They never claimed to have the PTSD or anything like that, but you
Right.
could tell. You can tell when people are telling stories.
Right, when they're
it's a
talking to you,
story,
exactly.
Or
Right.
when that kind of look in their eye goes off, and it's
Yeah.
more, and it means more, and you.
Right.
Yeah, you can tell when those.
You can
things
see
are
that
going on.
shit. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
exactly,
sure.
dude.
Because, unfortunately, and like you mentioned, Pete, there's a lot of people out there that do. It's a very serious issue, and people do need help. My family's a military family, so I feel this too. But there's still that stigma attached to mental health.
Right. Oh, there
And
is.
I think some of these folks, they'll talk about it, and they'll talk about it like they're just telling you a story.
Right.
But you could tell it
But-
is it's more to them. You could see
Exactly,
that it is
dude.
affecting
They
them more.
feel it more
And we got to
than
reach
you
out.
do.
We got to reach out. People got to reach out. Hey, it's
Right.
okay to talk about this.
It is.
It's
It
like
is.
when Bundy was talking about Green River to the feds, and he's
Yeah.
talking about the Green River, but he's telling them stories about himself.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same
It's like,
kind of
this
thing.
is
yeah.
what I did, but check this out.
But I ain't going to
Exactly.
admit to it. I'm just going to say that I know
Right.
some information.
Yep.
Right.
And it's it's the same thing. I think with some of these vets, I'll tell you some more stories.
Right.
And it starts off lighthearted, but you can
Right.
tell.
Right. They start going there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they start going there.
Get in that
Definitely.
mode, dude. Fuck
Now,
yeah.
Lana has a girl, Lily. I thought that was interesting, Chris, with your daughter, Lily. So now he's
No,
got a
it's spelled
couple of
with
kids.
one L.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Lily or Lily or whatever.
I always thought it was always weird, like people that have daughters named Lillian, and they spell Lily with one L, but it's
Yeah.
Lily. It's two L's. Because
Yeah.
Lillian spelled with two L's.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And Lily would be like, fuck you, dude. I'll kill you. And she's 10.
We'll have her in the cage match before too long.
Yeah. Shit.
He winds up getting deployed to Kuwait in 2003. His problems with the Army continue. His wife and kids are in Germany. He's miserable. They're miserable with him gone. She's sending care packages to him, which is good, but he's struggling still. He's back in a war zone, and especially in a backward country like Kuwait. I mean, they just had to suck. Spent some time at the infamous Abu Ghraib prison, the one that was in the media there for a while.
Did he take like a lot of dick?
No, he wasn't an inmate. He was like a guard at the prison. Yeah. So
think that
Zach
maybe
was a
comes later
sergeant.
from
He
what we
might
saw.
have. I don't know. I mean, he was
Who
into
knows?
that,
How'd
so
you
it's
get
very
that? I don't
possible. Zach was a sergeant at the time, so they were living at the Army base. His pay is at least decent at that rank, but certainly not rolling in the money. But at least he's not struggling month to month
Right,
like
he's
you
getting
do at the
light
lower
bill.
ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Chris, I can't imagine being away from kids that long. The 5 months that I was gone in Army Basic and AIT was bad enough because I left 2 weeks after Joey was born. So I saw him for 2 weeks. I was gone for almost 6 months. I was at Fort Knox and not in Kosovo or Kuwait. So I can't imagine this shit,
Well, me being me, I have my 3 children. I have never gone more than 2 months without seeing them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even imagine 5 months, dude. It fucked me up. Like,
Yeah, it was
these
very
are my fucking
difficult.
kids, dude.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult.
And at this point in life right now, like, Cole's like 18.
Yeah, when they
He's
get
just like,
older,
"Hey,
it's
Dad."
a little different because they're doing their own thing. But when they're little like that, it's really tough.
Right.
It was for me. Now, Brian, you're a dad, obviously. You could relate to how tough it
Yeah.
would be.
Certainly, I mean, and without getting way into it, I mean, Cheyenne's mom and I were divorced when she was 3, so there's a lot going on there.
Sure.
And I mean, even just visitations, on your days off.
Right.
When those days at the time she's 3 years old, when you don't have days with her and you're used
Yeah.
to seeing her every day. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I can even grasp the concept of 5 months or longer for those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
now she's 19, so it is like you'd mentioned with your son. It's
It's different.
I know she has a life.
Right.
But yeah, even at 2 weeks, I'm
yeah,
still
you don't
like,
want to miss. Yeah, you
all right,
miss
it's been
her.
2
yeah.
weeks, man. Come around. For a
Yeah,
little
come
bit.
say hi. Yeah. So it's tough as a parent to
Yeah,
have
especially
kids
little
being gone.
kids. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, 2 weeks after my son was born was really,
Yeah.
really difficult. He loses Rachel, which was a friend of his and fellow soldier. She was an MP in his unit. They were hit with a mortar attack. She was killed, several others severely injured, and he's just devastated by this. Another close friend of his, Todd, severely injured, and that also fucks with him. You know, I could see that when you got friends next to you, you get hurt. I mean, you're just like, man, it's a matter of time.
I couldn't even imagine him, like, say it had been you, Cashman, Brian, my brother, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this motherfucker just, like, blows up next to me.
Yeah.
Not going to be happy about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's got to be difficult. So by the time their deployment is over with in 2003, he's sick of it. He wants to get out. He decides the best way to do this is by failing his PT test. That's physical training. It does take a few months to go through that process, but it does work. Eventually, you'll get kicked out. He winds up getting a general discharge instead of the honorable discharge, which really hurts him later when he's trying to get help from the VA. And I'm a VA patient. I was not aware of that. Chris, we were talking about this in our meeting, that's really can haunt you and stay with you, you know, as you apply for jobs. And Brian, you were talking about a different aid or, you know, discounts maybe would short, you know, you from doing that stuff. I mean,
You may have had this not heart attack or whatever, but yeah, nothing's ever going to work out.
no, I mean, the VA is nice. I mean, it's got its shortcomings, but it is nice that I have that as a kind of false fail-safe in case, let's say, I didn't have health insurance. I could at least go to the VA, especially now that they got the clinic here in Bloomington. It's really sweet. It's like 5 minutes or no less from my office.
No more?
I was going to Peoria, but now I just go to Bloomington.
Oh, I thought you were going to Springfield. Either way,
I mean,
yeah,
Peoria.
yeah, it's
either
still nice. It's like 2 minutes from my office. So
my buddy Kevin up in Milwaukee, you met him.
Yeah,
Still,
Kevin
I mean,
Soames,
he basically lives.
yeah,
like,
there's a
at the
hospital
VA.
there in Milwaukee. Yeah.
He,
Yeah,
he
no,
got really fucked
Kevin's
up and
like-
paralyzed almost.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Kevin's on some real shit.
But no, they take care of him.
That's
to the best.
good.
Yeah,
That's
And-
good.
and
It's gotten a lot better in the
Yeah.
last 5-6 years. I've noticed.
it is nice,
at the
you know,
VA.
them being that close to the hospital,
Right.
Because you don't know when certain situations arise.
Yeah, and you could be far. Like here, the nearest hospital is Danville.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I've been to Iowa City. I mean, I've been to some of them. So he lies to Lana about his discharge, telling her it was for medical reasons. And once she finds out, she gets upset about having to go strip again and Zach having to go back to bartending. But I'm not quite sure why she just couldn't find like a regular job. I don't understand why it's like, well, wait a minute. You're getting kicked out of the Army, so now you got to go strip again. It's like, oh, you could go work at fucking Kmart, you know? I mean, whatever. So she decides to file for divorce.
Remember what we said, Chris? Comfort level.
Comfort
You
level.
get comfortable.
Well,
doing
yeah,
what
she's
you
used to
do,
making
and-
that kind of money as
And
a
plus, you're
stripper.
like, oh, I can make this much a week.
Right.
compared to
Doing
this much
this.
a week.
Yeah, I
compared
get
to-
that, but she was like
Yeah.
saying like, "Oh no, I
Right.
have to go do."
Yeah.
No, you don't really have to. He does, try to get to see the kids with visitation, but his life is a fucking mess. Drinking, drugs. I mean, it just continues to spiral. And Brian, slowly things are starting to unravel here. The story is starting to build. He's in his mid-20s. Things are starting to go into kind of a spiral here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as we've gone through the story a little bit more, I mean, even going back to the being so upset about the homecoming king thing, I think there's definitely some major depression issues
Oh yeah,
Oh, and
with
then-
Zach from, I mean,
yeah.
when were the parents divorced? When he was 12, I think it was.
yeah, something like that.
I'm not going to say that's the case, but
Yeah.
I think we've got some underlying issues before we even get into
Oh, yeah.
the death and dismemberment and
Yeah, drinking and
the
drugs
drinking
and
and everything
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Like, he went to the Army, like, knowing he needed to do something different with his life.
Right.
And it basically didn't work out for him.
No, it
And that
didn't. You
seems to
saw some
kinda-
bad shit. you know?
Right. And that seems to kind of be the thing where every step that he thinks he's taking in the right direction,
It never works
it's
out.
not working out.
Yeah, it never
and if
worked
you've already
out.
got issues to begin with in your head to begin with,
Right.
and now it just seems like, all right, every step I'm taking, this is going to fix it, but that failed.
And when you
fix it, but
stay
that
with a
failed.
toxic
Right.
person the entire time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, I mean, not to use a baseball analogy, you know,
Right.
you being a Boston fan and everything, but you could see the stitches on the baseball pretty easy here. He's definitely heading to a fucking brick wall. And especially when you bring in stripper number 2 to this equation
Yeah,
here. What
I mean,
the hell, dude?
Strippers were obviously an underlying thing for him. Like, the more you read about the dude, there was always something about strippers.
Yeah.
and
Always.
Even
Yeah,
at the end,
everything,
At the
yeah.
end, we'll get into that too. He brings strippers up in his final fucking declaration, basically.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
But no, he maybe for him it just must have been an easy option for him to find somebody to be with him. You know, even for a little bit of time. I don't know what the deal was, but I definitely feel with his depression and insecurity issues that a stripper is just one of those
stripper
people.
made it right.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I can push this bitch. I can push this. I
And
want to
vice
say
versa.
bitch to be an asshole, but
Yeah.
it's basically like I can push her off, and it means nothing to
Right.
me.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, like you said, I mean, maybe the validation of, hey, I've got a stripper. I mean,
Yeah.
some guys might take validation out of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of
Right.
that. Plus, and not trying to be rude or anything, but maybe the expectation level is a
Yeah.
little lower too.
Sure, it could be. It could be.
And I mean, obviously we don't know nothing about this because nothing was ever said. I don't know if he indulged in much prostitution or whores while he was
Right.
overseas.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
But, yeah,
maybe
who
with
knows?
his situation, he probably did, you know, or at least looked out there. So, I mean, that was probably always something that he had on his mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's very possible. So he's back in New Orleans and divorced. So, yeah, he winds up meeting another bartender, but some people thought she was a stripper as well. I saw some kind of, differing views on that there. But nonetheless, she is a toxic individual. Addie Hall, all about partying, and Chris, just the fucking bad influence Zach needs. He's already prone to drinking and drugs, and now he's hanging out with a girl that's
Sounds like my next
really
baby
wild.
mama.
Really wild. So, now, some of the stuff I read mentioned, like I said, that she was also a stripper. I'm not really sure there. They decide to stay in New Orleans during the hurricane. They get holed up in this apartment. They got some local media attention, though, for being the few that stayed behind, because Addie also had a thing for showing her titties to the police that drove by the apartment. I thought that was nice.
No, that was a real thing.
Yeah, it was. But,
Like,
she got all this
they hung out
media
through the
attention
end.
over it. It's like, really?
Yeah, they hung out through the entire damn
Yeah.
hurricane and everything, and
Yeah.
hung out, and it was like we said earlier, it was like a big camping trip.
There was an article that they were in the New York Times
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
talking
well,
about them,
100%
how they
were,
were
yeah.
surviving afterwards.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, you know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I mean, he was like a hero in
Yeah.
New Orleans for staying behind and helping other people.
And she was a hero for showing her titties. To
That's
him.
right.
Boom.
Yeah.
I was gonna say most
Thanks,
of the
girl.
pictures. I think most of the pictures we have of them are from those media outlets.
yeah.
Right?
No, literally,
probably.
the pictures
Probably.
that you Google them.
Yeah.
and
Sitting in front of their
images,
apartment and stuff.
Right.
That's,
That's
from,
all from the articles and stuff.
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
so.
that's 100% what it is.
He was a very giving guy. Most people that knew him really liked him. A very nice guy. The one issue with Addie is she didn't like kids being around. So when he did have visitation with his kids, she made him go get a hotel room and stay
Yeah,
there with the kids.
Which was fucked up.
Now that's fucked up. Now Joey, how many cops you think made it a point to drive by that apartment with her showing her titty?
Right? I'm sure it was a pretty regular routine, you know?
Yeah, let me go over here. I'll take that call.
Be like, oh, that's my beat. Let me go there.
Wait. What street? I got this one.
Rampart, I'm on it. Brian, now Addie definitely seems very toxic. What do you think about her not wanting the kids around and just being pretty much a bad individual? I mean, he doesn't need this
No,
at
he does
all.
not need this.
No.
And I hate to say it, but I mean, shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but that's just a giant bitch. I mean,
That's pretty
make him go get a hotel room with
But-
his kids. I mean,
right.
come on now.
but
you
maybe
know?
we hit on this just a little bit ago. I mean, maybe his expectations for what she would want from him were pretty low. But then when I mean, at some point you got to say that I'm a dad and I like to have my kids around.
Right, exactly.
That's what's hard because it's like in the gate, she's like, hey, I don't like kids.
Yeah.
And then she's going to tell you to go get a hotel room. So right there, you got to be as a father like, okay, then this isn't going to work out.
Exactly.
So if you're the one staying with her, you can't even
Boom.
get mad at her for being that way. That's how she is.
That's how she
Right.
is.
I mean, I ain't got kids, so I might not want kids around me one night either. So I'm
Right.
not going to go hang out with my friends who got kids.
No,
Right.
Cash would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you got your kids?" I'd be like, "Yeah." He's like, "I won't be over tonight."
But you know
no,
what?
that's
I'm
real
definitely
talk,
not
though.
going to try to get in a relationship with a lady who has kids and not expect them to be part of her life either.
Right.
Right,
That's
exactly.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
Boom.
Or then
So-
tell her, hey, when you got visitation, you're going to the hotel.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
but if
Yeah.
you
Get out
do
of
know
your
that
house.
up front, I
Right.
mean, hey, it's
That's what
on
I'm
you
saying.
if you want to be
Right.
with her. you
Yeah,
know.
so yeah,
It
part
probably
of that
goes
is-
back to his insecurities.
Yep,
and-
exactly.
Right. So Zach and Addie were, even making cocktails for others that were
They were bringing
visiting,
them out, yeah.
bringing
Well,
them
yeah,
out
they
to
were
the
sitting
street.
outside after the fucking goddamn.
Yeah, being
like, hey, you want to
bartenders.
drink this? Yeah, I want it.
They were like trading alcohol for water. I saw. They fought constantly. She's accusing him of cheating on her. There was something I saw in the book, "Shake the Devil Off," about Zach and some homosexual tendencies. The book actually mentions these
he's-
arguments that they had, where Addie would berate him about being gay, and that he had a conversation with a friend that he said he was bisexual, and that he had been seeing
Yeah,
other
that was,
men.
not Squirrel.
It was with Squirrel.
Was it Squirrel?
It was with Squirrel. Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting up to Squirrel here in a sec. But yeah, Squirrel is buddy of his. He confides in him. He tells him about it, and then Addie still finds out about it through other ways because New Orleans is a big small big town or big small town.
Yeah.
Anyway,
whatever.
yeah, everybody
You're
knows
gonna-
everybody's
especially
business.
when you're in the same circle. Somebody's going to say something to somebody.
Right.
No matter what.
So she finds out and goes fucking nuts. She's known to be abusive towards boyfriends that she's had relationships with. She's furious that he cheated on her, but even more so that it was with another man over the course of their relationship.
Hey, listen.
What?
If you was begging your old lady and next thing you know, like your old lady cheated on you, you found out it was another chick, what would you do?
Well, guys look at that differently.
See?
Obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
See, I don't agree with that. Me, if somebody's getting pleasure from another person sexually, regardless, I'm not about that. If
Yeah,
you love me, you love me.
No, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I'm
no,
not that dude that's like that.
No, I'm not. I'm the same way. I was
Yeah.
just going to say I would not be into that, but I
Yeah.
know that's what I was saying. Some people are, but when it's the other way around, it's usually not the case.
But I wouldn't. I'm with Cashman. Like
I mean,
he
if
said.
that's
No,
the
I would-
relationship we're in, that's
Right.
cool.
That's
Right.
fine.
But if I'm trying
But
to
don't
be
just
with
like
one person,
fucking
no,
throw
I would
it up
not.
on my
No,
back and
no.
be like, no, fuck
No,
that.
not at all. So anyway, she finds out about it, and they get in another fight. Over the course of the relationship, she kicks out, Zach dozens of times. They're constantly in the middle of drama with a bunch of bullshit. Like they should have been a reality show.
Oh, for real.
for-
The neighbors from down the street were calling the cops for real.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why is this happening?
Oh, yeah, it was constant. Now, one of the people that Zach and Eddie were friends with is that guy you mentioned, Chris Squirrel. He's their drug dealer. Greg Rogers was his name. I guess, Squirrel, kind of a cool nickname.
I know a dude named Squirrel that lives in Bloomington, so it's cool.
Oh, that's cool. He was their coke dealer, and he gave him free coke for helping him out after an accident he was involved with, where they took him in and loaned him some money with no real time frame to pay him back. So instead, he's nice. He says, all right, well,
We
you
need
guys can
friends
take
like
a little
that.
coke now and then. But of course, they abuse this shit. They're taking way more than they should have. And Brian, doesn't sound like a good business model to get hooked up with these two and just let them take what they want,
No, I mean, I don't know from personal experience, but most of the dealers, I think, they give you a taste to get you in.
Right.
And then it becomes a knee breaking time if you're not
Yeah.
paying
He
up.
said
So,
knee breaking time. I love
so
it.
the whole thing of, oh no, you guys don't have to pay me back at any
Yeah.
particular time, and by the way, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And fuck me over, even though I'm supposed to.
Well,
be
yeah.
doing it.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
it's not
shit.
going to end very well, that's for sure. Now, Chris, you would think with these two train wrecks of fucking humanity, and she's loose with her fists, her mouth, and apparently her vagina. Most of them are drinking like fucking crazy, doing a lot of drugs. It's definitely like the perfect storm, dude. I mean, this is just waiting for some crazy shit to go down.
So you've never been to FTA? But no, for real, I drink a lot, but their situation as a couple was not working out at all.
No, a lot of violence.
Like I've had those situations where like, yeah, I really love you, you really love me, but at the same time, you should not be together.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, it's like an oil and water thing here with these two.
Right.
For sure. Now, Brian, you brought up an interesting thing that I'd like to make sure we hit on at the end about a parallel with these two that I thought was an interesting angle. Now, Addie and Zack are both 28. They have this huge fight on October 5th, 2006 at their infamous apartment at 826 North Rampart Street in New Orleans. I thought this was interesting. The apartment is actually above a voodoo spiritual temple, which is kind of wacky. You think about the whole ghosts in New Orleans and its rich history of that kind of stuff. And if you watch some of the paranormal shows they did here, they really play up on that whole angle. The voodoo. Big time.
A lot of the stuff I was like looking up, all played up on the voodoo stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that stuff to me gets a little hokey. I do find the paranormal stuff interesting, but to a degree. This just seemed very hokey. It seemed like an angle to just kind of, glom onto something.
How are we going to make this a better story?
Yeah, make it an attraction. Now, when he murders Addie, the police believe they have the details correct from the suicide note that he leaves and evidence left behind at the apartment. And among the stuff they find at the apartment, a 5-page note explains most of the gruesome details from Zack. So really, really nasty stuff here. So let's back up a second when he jumps, because we started this story out with him jumping and the police showing up. But there's a part of this, and Chris, you alluded to this, very interesting way this whole thing unfolds. So in that book I mentioned, he tells a story from the perspective of one of the guys that played in this Latin dance band who was actually at the bar performing that night where he was at the La Riviera.
Okay.
And the band saw him at the bar. He's 6'10", so he's hard to miss.
Yeah, he's a giant.
He's there all day drinking because they're setting up and then they play. But it was a Tuesday, so it was kind of slow. So they were packing up early. They see him leave the bar, and he kept going outside. There was like a pool out there.
Yeah, there was a pool, and there was
and a balcony.
The balcony. It's like above the parking garage and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and he kept going out there and coming back and going out there, coming back. Anyway, the bartender tells him he stiffed him on the tab.
Well, that's what the bartender was worried about. He's like, oh, wait, hold on. This motherfucker's sneaking around, like looking, trying
he's
to
going to take off.
He's not going to pay his tab.
Right. And so these guys are kind of looking out. And then all of a sudden, Joey, this is when this shit gets crazy. Because this is not like most suicide, like most suicides, a very deliberate act. I mean, anybody that knows anyone that has done this, it's usually
they just do it.
Very deliberate. Yeah. There is no question that's what they wanted to do.
That it was all done for him. It was going to come to a head. He had already written the letters.
Right.
I mean, the note in his pocket, that you don't walk around with that in your pocket for weeks while you contemplate.
Right. No, not at all.
Literally weeks.
Yeah.
So he walks out to the pool. Again, you said, Chris, the roof overlooking the parking deck. He looks up at the sky, walks back and forth, and exactly 8:30, he jumps off the 5th floor to his death below. They said his hips were twisted in a weird position, so it wasn't like a bloody mess, but he was obviously dead, crumpled up.
He hard enough, like there was no real blood flow at all.
No.
He was mangled.
Yeah, he was pretty mangled up from the fall. But when they go through his pockets looking for ID, they find a note. It says police only and a key. Now, Brian, the note was very simple. I can't imagine being one of those cops and you find this note. Very eerie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the like you said, we began at the end, but now they're kind of just like, all right, this is the beginning of some crazy shit.
Yeah, definitely. The note says, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one that I took. If you send a patrol to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie in the oven, on the stove, and in the fridge, along with full documentation on the both of us and a full signed confession from myself. The keys in my right front pocket are for the gates. Call Leo Watermeyer to let you in. Zack Bowen." So, Joey, I don't know how fucked up that is to get a note like that. And this is the part of the story that really changed things. You know, you've heard of suicides before, murder-suicides, but holy shit, that's a lot to take in a few short sentences,
Well, and
man.
of course, there's always the consideration before they find everything that, okay, this isn't what
joke,
it is.
right?
But at the same time, you know this dude just killed himself, so he just gave you an MO. So why you have no reason not to really believe you're gonna find something.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Now, Brian, I can't imagine, what the cops' reaction had to be in the apartment. I know we talked about, like, with Dahmer, in Gacy, these were things like you had no idea.
Right.
Here, they're going into it fearing the worst because he tells them what's in there. But like you just said, Joey, there's probably a wonder of, is this bullshit or is he exaggerating or whatever? But what do you think, Brian?
But, I mean, even if you take it at face value and you say that is what we're going to find, I don't know that reading words on a page can prepare you for what you actually are going to see.
Yeah.
I don't think so, man, because this is really bad.
I think, all of us, we look at the props you got around here and stuff, and if they were real,
Yeah.
they would affect you in a different way, I think. But, even if you know, all right, I'm stepping into a room and I'm going to see dismembered body parts.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you prepare for that. I don't care how
Not
hyped up you
prepared.
get.
I don't know how you prepare.
I think initial shock is more.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you're walking around and you walk into the barn and you find a girl gutted like a deer in Ed Gein's property and you're not expecting nothing in your life like that, holy fuck.
Right. No, it's fuck.
Right.
Even if somebody
But
told you
regardless, especially because I'm sure that this scene, for almost any of the officers that responded, that was not something they'd ever seen
you're
before.
You've never seen that. And like we were talking about, you could see it and you can know literally, I am going to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But until your eyes see it, you're not registered.
No.
And it was fucking crazy because he basically fucking, gave them a fucking whole conversation between his letter, between the walls, and between his fucking confession.
Yeah, the whole layout of what he did.
He's like taking you on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking crazy.
Now, the landlord, Leo Watermeyer, he was, of course, shocked when he let the police, where he talked to the police and they told him what was going on. He told them he didn't believe that that had happened, but he lets him in. He had let the air conditioner run on full blast to probably hide the smell.
At 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Like it was cold as fuck in that
It was like
apartment.
hanging meat type of deal in there.
Right.
Cigarette butts and beer cans littered the apartment. Sounds like you might have been. The Shawbacks might have been there partying, Chris. Is that?
What? I've never done no weird shit like that before, bro.
Spray painted messages on the wall. Please call my wife. I love her. I'm a total failure. Look in the oven. All this weird shit. And on the ceiling above his bed, he spray painted, "Please help me stop the pain," which is just fucked up because you think he's looking at that every night after he killed her, which had been about a week.
Yeah.
So, my God, just really gruesome stuff. His autopsy would show 28 burn wounds on his body where he claims he burned himself with a cigarette for every day
Every day
for
he was
each
alive.
year.
Yeah, that was fucking weird, dude. I saw that.
Yeah, that's really fucking crazy.
20.
Yeah.
Dude, I've only got one cigarette burn on my arm, and it's big.
Yeah, that's got to be painful, but this is just a guy in obviously, just free fall. He had been, on a serious bender, knowing that the end was near. He quits his job, takes his last $1,500 to party, go to strip clubs, live it up the best he could before he knows he's going to kill himself. Chris, if you're going to go out, you're going to go out with a bang, that's for sure.
All I'm saying is I know this was like a long time ago because $1,500.
I was going to say, what's that, a couple hours at the strip club?
Like, that ain't nothing right now. Like $1,500, I'm like done in 3 hours. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
well, game over.
He said the last thing he wanted in his life was good food, good strippers, and good drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
So he's just all about
Fuck
that.
yeah, dude.
Now, there's a large silver arrow painted on the wall that points toward the oven. The police opened the oven door and found a foil turkey pan with Addie's legs in it, charred from being cooked. On the stove, they found a deep cooking pot, and inside it,
Was
her
her
hair
fucking
floating,
head, yeah,
and her
dude.
head inside under the water.
Dude, and the stuff they put on the stove, like he put on the stove, like was seasoned and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like potatoes cut up and everything. Like this dude shit like ready to eat.
They said the skull was burned beyond recognition.
Yeah.
They couldn't even fucking tell.
Yeah, it's really bad. Her hands and feet were in another pot. In the refrigerator, they found the rest of her torso in a
her
black
torso.
garbage bag. He would claim that he was cooking her to separate the meat from the bone, probably to get rid of the body
dispose of
easier.
it, yeah.
He said he never ate her, but of course the rumors, kind of flying around. But later they did an autopsy and they did not find that he ate any of her.
Right, but I mean, I understand why people would say like,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
we cooked her here, but at the same time, I understand like he's like, I just fucked up royally. I gotta fix this.
Right.
I gotta peel the meat off the bone. I get it.
Yeah.
I
But
understand.
at the same time, it's like, okay, cook the body so you can dispose of it easier. I understand
Right.
that.
Right.
Why add the potatoes and carrots?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unless
Why
there
have
was
the
somewhere in your
potatoes
mind
and
you were thinking for a second.
Right.
You know, maybe you
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Wonder what
just
the bitch-
weird.
Wonder what this bitch thigh tastes like.
Yeah.
Right, because what's the dude in England, that Nilsson, the one that
Yeah.
was putting him down the toilet?
Yeah.
That was to get rid of the bodies, like, legit. This
Dude, and he
seems
clogged up the
like
whole
you
apartment.
said.
Hey,
Yeah,
you know why
he's
we're
on
here?
the list. That's going to be
he
a good one.
clogged up the whole apartment complex.
Yeah, could you
Like,
imagine?
what
It's
the
like 2
fuck?
in the morning, and this plumber's out there. You're like, what the fuck? You're trying to
all
go to
this
sleep.
ground up human meat.
They
What
just
the
asked him,
fuck?
they're like, do you know why we're here? Yeah, I'd imagine those bodies down there.
So Zach's own 5-page note he left behind claims he had sex with the corpse, but police firmly deny that happened. Joey, this is about as brutal as it gets. I cannot even imagine this. Like we said, I mean, it's one thing to read about it. It's another thing to psych yourself up for it, and it's
Yeah.
another thing to open an oven door
Yeah.
and see some woman's legs in a friggin' foil pan
Right.
burning. I mean, what the hell, dude?
I always wondered, because I've never seen any of the transcripts from, like, the confession that he left, documenting everything that he did. And I wish I
Right.
could see that, because it probably would open up a little bit more.
Oh, I'm sure.
Kill some
5
of the
pages.
speculation. Right. Because I was under the impression that he had sex with the body multiple times.
I was too, because I saw.
And so I didn't know that after checking the body, they can tell that shit.
Yeah, they say it never happened,
Yeah,
but there
so I
were a
didn't know
lot
that,
of
so-
because he said it himself that he did.
Right.
So
Right, I saw something about his letters or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
after violating the corpse.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what about this, though? Because he's partying so hard and he's doing all these good drugs.
Oh,
and all
did he
this good
imagine
coke.
he did
no,
that?
I was thinking maybe he cooked the food, but he wasn't hungry because he's so geeked out, so he didn't eat it. And then he tried to fuck her, but he couldn't get his dick hard because he was so geeked up too.
I don't know.
So
dude.
maybe it was shit he wanted to do and he never got
I
to.
don't know.
Word.
I don't know,
got you,
man.
dude. I got you.
I don't know. I mean, very, very messed up. Now, Joey, Brian, the media jumped on, of course, the gruesome nature of this, which is obviously why we're talking about this, because this is a gruesome story. And what is it? I know we've talked about this before.
Right.
What is it about the really gruesome, the Geens, the Gacy's, the Dahmer stories that just seem to grab hold of people and really get them fired up?
I think a lot of it is when you see most of these people, and I mean, going back to Eddie, everybody said, he was a babysitter. He babysitted, everybody trusted him with the kids. I think it's how normal they are, and then you find out what they're capable of.
Right.
And it's just, I think that's our biggest fascination, is that you can't judge anybody by what they look like. You can't, some guys that you think look like, that dude's got to killed 100 people. And
Oh, yeah.
And he, he volunteers at the
Right.
House for the Blind or something. He's
Right.
just the nicest guy in the world.
Right.
I think a lot of our fascination has to do with how normal they are.
Yeah.
And how we can have thoughts about some of this shit, but we can't.
We don't act on it. Yeah.
We have a conscience, and we can't flip
Yeah.
that switch like these guys.
Yeah. I
clearly
mean,
can.
we've got our 2-year coming up. Our next episode is 2 weeks from now, and we're doing Albert Fish. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that just kind of blended in with the scenery. I mean, nobody would have looked at that dude and thought he was doing the stuff he was doing. It's just they blend in with the scenery, and that's what makes them so shocking. Those to me are the most frightening. The Richard Chase and some of those goofballs, Dusseldorf, or the vampire Dusseldorf. I mean, these are like freaks, so they really stand out as like you would expect that, but it's the ones like you said, Brian, that you don't expect, that look like the guy, mowing his grass next door that are freaky
Jeffrey
to me.
Dahmer
out there killing shit like, I expect that.
Yeah, I mean, Gacy's out there throwing barbecues for the neighbors all the time.
Politician.
He might be a little loud. He might be a little flamboyant. So you might think, all right, maybe this guy does like little boys.
Right.
But you don't think he's killing them and keeping them in his basement.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's John from the block, throwing a party. He's a good guy.
Exactly.
John from the block. That's the best way to John from the block.
So anyway, what was the cause of Zack's violent outburst and gruesome killings and dismemberment? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever really know. As we mentioned, he suffered from PTSD. I think that played a major part. I also think that years of alcohol and drug abuse definitely fueled the fire. But I also
you guys
think
got to break my balls.
that Addie and her nature and the way she was toward him definitely didn't help. And all of this going on in his head, I think he just fucking snapped. I think that just the note basically said that he wrote. He strangled her quickly one night around midnight, and after a couple days at work with her rotting in the apartment, he knew he had to do something with the body. So I think it started there. Now, Chris, did you see anything about the murder? I thought this was very interesting, of a young woman named Jaren Lockhart. There was a woman, Margaret Sanchez, who was friends with Addie Hall. And after Addie's murder, Margaret Sanchez and her boyfriend killed this young woman, Jaren Lockhart, chopped up the body and disposed of it in the Gulf of Mexico. So what the fuck? I mean, she obviously learned a little something from what happened to Addie.
I'm not going to lie, that really does recall my memory a little bit, but then I've been watching some other shit too.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, what I'm watching and what I'm doing get mixed
They're similar
up.
enough.
I'm like,
I know.
Fuck.
We've done stories where I've gotten confused before, but I don't know if any of you guys had seen that. There's a news story about this this woman and the Jaren Lockhart, and that's where they tie in the Zack and Addie story, because the friend of Addie's was the one that killed the woman and chopped her up.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now I didn't watch.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean it's something I'd never heard of until I was doing some final research and stumbled on it on YouTube. I didn't watch any of the paranormal shows. There are quite a few I saw out there. There's a paranormal ghost tour. I know one of our listeners mentioned.
Oh yeah, at the house where the apartment where they lived above the fucking voodoo shop.
Yeah, there's YouTube videos of that tour. I've seen them out there.
No, there's a lot of them. I haven't watched any of them because I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it seems a little silly.
Did you see any of them?
No.
They've got. It's kind of bullshit. Like, I didn't go there whenever I went down to New Orleans in like 2014. I wish I would have. It's super cheesy though. Like, they have like the bride of Chucky and Tiffany dolls in there, and they've got like blood splatters on the wall. Like, really cheesed out. Yeah, and that's why I said that's the first time I heard about it, was because they were talking about fascination with true crime and how they just took this story and made it into what they wanted it to be, a New Orleans scare fest.
Oh sure,
and like you said, they wanted to put voodoo into it.
The voodoo stuff makes it a little sexy.
Yeah, no, but you can see, like Chris said, you can see tours of it, and it's like. like is cheesy. Like I would still
Right.
see it just because it's the house. But
Right.
Holy
But at the
fuck.
same time, it's like weak as
Yeah, I
fuck.
can't remember who the lady was that bought it, but yeah, people were not happy with
Oh wow.
how she portrayed all that.
So it's not true to voodoo.
So it's not right.
So-
Brian says so. It's not true. To
So the landlord eventually rents
Oh,
it out.
yeah.
I thought it was funny. Another stripper moved in there. So I'm like, really? So there is a movie called Zack and Addie that was done. I tried to watch it on every platform I could find. I was not able to watch it. There is a trailer, though, but I could not see the actual movie. It looks very interesting. I would like to check it out. So if anybody listening stumbles on how to watch it, I'd love to know. Get a hold of us. The book I mentioned, Shake the Devil Off, is very good. I would like to finish reading it. I read about 80% of it. I tried to finish it, but it's just hard to keep up with all this stuff. Strongly suggest that if you like the story, check that book out. I did see a few interviews with the author, Ethan Brown, talking about the story. He lived in New Orleans with his wife for years while researching the story. I thought it was funny, too. The first time they took their cab ride in New Orleans, the taxi driver's taxi license number was 666. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That's great.
Some have accused him for being too sympathetic to Zach. Some of the family members of Addie Hall are pretty unhappy about it. Explaining,
I mean, I can understand that. Like, I get
I
it.
could
like,
too.
He murdered and dismembered her and then killed himself like a pussy. But at the same time, his head was weird. I
Yeah.
give them props.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is I don't see anything wrong with an author explaining why the guy did what he did. I don't know if that means that you're
No, I
okaying it by any stretch.
But at the same time, like you said,
makes
like
sense.
they're explaining this was this guy's mental
Right.
process.
Yeah, because
You
in the
gotta
book
understand
they
where
get
he's
really
at.
into the military stuff because they
Right.
feel, or the author feels, that's where a lot of it comes from.
And I have no doubts about that.
Yeah.
And then after the whole thing, after Katrina, when like you got it, this is life again.
Right.
Because like after you've been in the military that long in the desert, survival.
Right.
And then once this catastrophe happens,
Right.
survival.
Right.
That's your life.
Sure. Sure.
So I get it.
There were a couple of short videos on YouTube that I watched, a few podcasts. Some were tough to listen to. There was some good articles, though, that I read. The one that I used a lot for this podcast was on historicmysteries.com. I thought was really good. A few listeners pointed out on our Facebook page that they were really familiar with this story and were really interested to hear us do this. So I hope that they liked it. I hope you guys out there listening comment and let us know if you think we did it justice. Chris, is there anything you wanted to add to this story? Anything that we didn't touch on that you want to bring up?
All I gotta say is keep your mental status right.
Yeah.
If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Other
sure.
than that, kill if you need to kill.
I
Fuck it.
guess. Brian, anything you want to say before we move on? Because we're going to talk about the Dark History Convention, because, of course, that's where we know you from. That's coming up in October in Champaign. We're definitely pumped, and we're going to get into all of that when we get into some mayhem a little bit
Did
later.
you want to bring up that parallel he was
Oh,
talking about?
yes, I did. Yes, thanks, Joey. Brian, you had a really interesting angle on this. I want to see if you could give us a little condensed version of what you think
Sure.
is an interesting parallel to the story of Zack Bowen.
Well, I thought of another one while we were talking about it that would actually fit a little bit more into the music aspect too, and that'd be, the Sid and Nancy.
Oh, yeah, that is a really good.
But my original one that I was thinking of is Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the shooters from Columbine.
Right.
If any of the listeners have read Dave Cullen's book titled simply Columbine, and some other folks that have talked about it, Dylan was clearly a depressive person, and
Right.
most likely everybody feels like he either would have gotten through that stage in his life and gone on, or he would have probably committed suicide.
Right.
They don't think he would have become homicidal without the spark that was Eric Harris. Eric has been studied to be, almost everybody agrees that he was a pure psychopath.
Yeah.
So I think the combination of the two,
Right.
you got the outcome that you got.
Right.
I wonder if if Zack might have just gone through life being a depressive, maybe lived out a full life.
Sure.
But quite possibly ended his life alone with, no notoriety at all.
Right.
If you didn't add that spark that was Addie Hall. The more we talked about it and throughout the whole episode,
I understand what you're saying.
I was thinking about the depression underlying, but I also wonder a little bit about some schizophrenia too.
Yeah.
I mean, what you guys know about schizophrenia, it doesn't really manifest till you're in your mid-20s.
Right.
He's 28.
Sure.
I think that would explain a lot of the writing on the walls.
Sure.
Obviously, the dismemberment.
Right. Yeah, that's
that kind of stuff
That's
fits.
a whole
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder if there was a lot more going on there than even what we know about.
I think Zack definitely had some mental issues.
I guarantee
without the PTSD. No,
without
you throw that on the top.
Yeah, without the PTSD.
Then
you add the unreality of abusing drugs hardcore too.
Exactly.
Right.
And all these things.
A lot of meth.
This is like the perfect storm, I think. Just so many different things thrown in: the drugs, the alcohol, the bad, mate
Just
there that was just friggin' over the top.
Yeah.
The military, the childhood, the divorce. Just keep piling stuff on top, and I think you just fucking snapped.
And I think you mentioned Richard Chase earlier.
Yeah.
There's some Richard Chase elements there,
Oh,
Zack,
yeah.
if you think about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't want people, Chase clearly schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
But then he was also doing some drugs, and he was
Right.
But some of his was
That's
trying
true.
to self-medicate, and he was just trying to figure himself
And
out.
also in his own head, he was like,
Exactly.
everything is cool.
Well, also
Yeah.
you
It
look at
doesn't matter
his
to me.
scribblings and shit, like his scribblings on the wall, stop me or help me or whatever.
Yeah, like William Hiron.
Those
Right.
were
Yeah.
like, but his were Zack Bowen's were like directed at himself. Like he was looking at it, he was talking to himself. Where
Right.
you got Son of Sam, where he was writing it on the fucking walls. He was trying to tell the cops or somebody,
Like,
help
stop
me,
me.
find
Right.
me, and help me. Where Zack Bowen,
Right.
I think he was like talking to himself,
Talking to
like,
him, right, exactly.
and
That's
something's
like,
bring
exactly.
this to an end.
I was gonna say that's where I think some of that schizophrenia stuff
Yeah,
there's
I would
just
agree.
stuff that we obviously we
I think-
don't know, but that's
Yeah, I think that's very
there's a lot of
possible.
elements pointing that way.
Yeah, very interesting discussion, gentlemen. Now, next time we're going to be featuring some bonus content since I'm going to be getting married on Saturday. Pretty crazy. That will be April 4th, 2020. Jenny and I will be getting married here at the house. We were going to be at a park.
It ain't quite 420.
But we were supposed to be at a park, but because of this fucking pandemic, it's changed about 15
how many
times.
people are going through getting married during the COVID?
Yeah, just said fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So since Illinois is under the stay-home directive, we had to do some changes. But anyway, Big Bad Hogs Barbecue doing the food. Check those guys out if you're in the Bloomington, Illinois or Central Illinois area. If you need an event catered, as you know, they did our 50th podcast party. That was awesome. And my son's wedding. So they really, really do a good job. Big Mike and the guys just fucking awesome. So, well, I can hear that intro music faintly in the background.
motherfucker.
I think it's probably CK, the great metal motherfucker. It's his birthday and all. Chris going to be cocky as a motherfucker.
yeah, dude.
So, Brian, what the hell do we need to do, man?
Let's get our metal.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and Murder Metal Mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Van Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs! All right, got the great metal motherfucker, kinda. We're doing some really whacked out shit here. Can't get him on Messenger, got him on a cell phone on fucking speaker, and somehow gonna make this work. What's going on, CK?
I don't know, man. Things are fucked up.
Apparently.
things are really fucked up right now.
Definitely. But good to have you on. We got Brian Ward here from the Dark History Convention, and of course Joey Goremonger.
Ow!
Ooh, we got a full house.
in Horns High. Yeah, we do have a full house, and it is your fucking birthday, man. We've got something
Yes.
we're going to
Yes,
do
it
here
is.
for you in a second.
Happy birthday, brother.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, CK. Happy birthday to you. How about that, dude?
That was the best happy birthday song anybody's ever
There you
sang.
go. It's like the fucking Cookie Monster meant fucking Oscar the Grouch or some shit. I don't know, in a back alley.
Hail Satan.
All right. Well, fuck yeah, CK. This is weird. We're doing this the way we're doing this, so we're going to make the best of it. You're going to talk about Exhorder tonight. I know that that's who you're going to be doing this evening. Is that correct?
Yes, it's going to tie into your murder segment a little. So
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
Exhorder, not hoarder, not
Oh, that
past
P word?
hoarder, not present hoarder, Exhorder.
Exhorder.
Not past, not present, X. All right, no, I got you, dude.
All right, so Exhorder started in '85. They're from New Orleans, Louisiana. At that time, not too many metal bands out of Louisiana. And still today, no, there's a few there. You know, you got Exhorder, Crowbar, couple other ones, Goat Whore. But at the time, there was like no bands in New Orleans who did what they did with the thrash, which eventually turned into a groove-oriented sound that Pantera stole.
Pantera, he straight up said it. He's like, you know what? Pantera stole that shit. Like,
I mean, they pretty much admitted it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
they
even that they're
admitted
trying
it.
to hide
yeah,
it.
like,
you know?
no, Exhorder was the shit. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I'll get to that at the end, but I just figure I'd throw it out there now.
Where's
Yeah.
all? Hey, who has all the platinum records though? CK.
that's right.
Yeah, well, if Exhorder had major label backing, maybe they did too. They would too, and
Maybe, but they gave up.
and
love
considering
Exhorder.
they're at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And you know damn well.
definitely.
You know damn well if they came out in '87 with that sound,
Yeah.
they would have been just in with everybody else.
Yeah, they should have stuck with it instead of being drug addicts and falling off the place of the face of the
Yeah.
earth.
Nobody likes heroin, Phil Anselmo.
But that's just my humble opinion.
No, I hear you though. I hear you though.
Actually, I can actually hear Joey better now than I do usually. So
Than usually.
That's
weird.
funny.
This shit's fucked.
He's sitting closer to Chris though too right
Yeah,
now. The
with
way
the
we got
phone.
this set
well,
up.
I'm sure Chris likes that.
He does. He does.
Yeah, and we're not
Okay.
6 feet apart, so suck our dick.
That's right. Yeah, we are going
fuck just
against
happened?
every fucking thing we're not supposed to do right now.
All right, so it's order from New Orleans. I'm definitely I'm definitely social distancing.
Yeah, for sure.
So they came out of New Orleans, recorded a few demos, were eventually signed to Roadrunner Records in like '89, released their first studio album, Slaughter in the Vatican, in '90. Great thrash album, great sound. Very controversial cover. If you ever look at it, take a look at it. It's kind of controversial. And that could be one of the reasons why Pantera got bigger than they were. Yeah. They album did pretty well. They got a little bit of a cult following. 2 years later, they released a more what was called a groove-oriented album. Still a thrash element in '92. The Law. Some people say that if Exhorder had major backing for this album, they would have probably went wide open and probably would have been as popular or more popular as Pantera, or who knows? Pantera may have been popular. Who knows? But you know, they broke up soon after that, and
So was that? I've never known Exhorder very long, other than the past few years, and people talking about like, no, Pantera took that away from Exhorder.
yeah,
The
pretty
album
much.
you're talking about, was it that badass?
It was a good album. Both albums were great.
Yeah, both of them are great. The new one's great.
I think-
Yeah,
I
the
think
new one's
the-
killer.
I think they're better than anything Pantera put out. And again, I'm not ragging on Pantera. It's not that I don't hate Pantera. I like Pantera. I just think they were entirely overrated band.
Right. Okay.
think-
I know a lot of people that are like that too.
I know people
I
think
think-
that about Kiss too.
Yeah, a little bit.
I definitely know people that think that about Kiss.
Oh
Yeah,
God, that goes
I know
back.
two people. I know two people right now who probably think that.
Yeah,
But yeah, they broke up in '94, so he never released a quote third album in that time frame. In 2008, they did reunite, begun writing new material. They started playing out a little bit more, and again in 2010, they broke up. And who knows why? They just broke up, and nobody heard anything from them until really 2017.
Have you ever seen underground metal bands? They all break up for some dumbass reason. I mean, like legit, like underground metal bands is just like, oh, we're not playing anything anymore because this dude's old lady's having a baby. Fuck this band. Like, no, and that's real shit that happens, though.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's real shit that happens. Hence why I give Cashman over here proud fucking one man. Like, I don't gotta worry about that bullshit.
right.
What was he gonna do? Break up with himself?
I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. It's like, shit, I hate me.
But 2017 they reunited. They actually did a couple of shows where they performed both albums live, full albums live. And at that time, it wasn't the original band. It was 2/5 of the band. It was Kyle Thomas, who was the original vocalist, Vinny LaBella, the original guitarist, and the new members were Jason V. Brooks and Sasha Horn on drums. They started demoing new material. Nuclear Blast heard it, signed them. And what was it, last year? 2019. I know I was in the hospital, so it had to be like August because that's when it came out. I was in the hospital for like those 5 weeks. I remember that. That's when the album came out. And at that time, I could only listen to it on my phone. But I knew as soon as I listened to it that this album was fucking killer. And anybody who had any doubts where Pantera got their sound from, you listen to that album and you could clearly hear where Pantera got their sound from. You know?
We seen them in September, and the album was out then. So yeah, that makes sense. August.
Yeah, we saw them at FTA, dude, and it was like the most ridiculous
Yeah.
shit ever, dude. Like, Exhorder was badass, bro.
Yeah, I've never seen them live, but I heard they're a killer band live. I know Vinny LaBella left the band this year. They got a new guitarist, Marcy Montazeri. And hopefully they're going to put out another album because that album was killer. You know, now we got to get to the controversy, you know. Obviously, Phil Anselmo was from Louisiana. So obviously he was influenced by Exhorder, which is even more crazy because if you think about it, he probably influenced the sound more than Dimebag Darrell did,
Who, Phil?
I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Phil even wrote some of their riffs, like Walk and stuff. He wrote those.
Right,
guitars.
yeah. Because Phil came out, he played all that black
Yeah.
metal and
Yeah.
everything, dude. He just loved all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because before that, they were a poser band.
Yeah, they were
The
power
first,
metal.
the first 3 albums, then the one where Phil and Selma, right before Cowboys, was when the sound changed.
Yeah.
And obviously, in my opinion, and Selma was heavily influenced by Exhorder, and I don't want to say stole the sound, but definitely heavily influenced by the sound of Exhorder. And, you know, if Exhorder had the major label backing that Pantera had, like I said, it could have been the other way around. Who knows?
It totally could have been. I understand what you're saying with the other label. It kind of sucks that when like bands that are that badass have to rely on a label though.
Right.
And like,
Well, back then-
like, can we just make music and make our fucking music?
Back then, you know, the label either made or break you. If you didn't get any backing and no promotion, forget about it. You're done.
Yeah, nobody cared. Well, that's just like
You know.
still to this day within the metal community. Am I wrong?
Somewhat, but yeah. Labels
I
aren't
think
shit
I
anymore
think
like
today
they
it's
used to
more.
Yeah, labels ain't like
It's
they
got-
used to be. Now they're just like, oh fuck.
It's more do it yourself, and you
Yeah.
don't need a major label to
Yeah,
put
you
an
just
album
need
out.
the
You can do it
distro
yourself.
really and the
Yeah.
tour support. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you where I first
But,
heard when I first heard Exhorder wasn't from their albums. I didn't get the albums till after, but I heard them on the At Death's Door compilation. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, I was like, holy shit! They played one of the songs off Slide Out of the Vatican. I can't remember now, but I was like,
And-
man, that shit's awesome.
it's
Bought both.
It's
of them.
impossible to find those two albums.
I got both the cassettes if you want to buy them. CK special.
It
No,
ain't vinyl, but it's
no.
cassette.
No, I got both CDs plus I got the reissue that I think they did in early 2000 with both CDs in the same package,
Yeah, yeah.
remastered by Roadrunner. But now you can't. You look online, you're talking about a couple $100.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But definitely a band I dig, you know. And again, I'm not saying I don't like Pantera. I just
You just know
think they
where.
know.
You just know that like this band was the same band but before.
Yeah, they were heavily influenced by
Goremonger
by-
stole his influence from Impetigo. I'm going to put that out right now. And Cannibal Corpse and Dying Fetus. So I'm a big poser too.
Yeah, like I just fucking these bands made my life.
Dude, if you're going to sit there and act like if you're in a band and that you're not influenced by a ton of other things,
Right.
you're definitely wrong as shit.
Yeah,
But I think with
exactly,
these guys,
exactly.
Joey,
Yeah.
it's even like his guitar tone. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like
Yeah.
Dimebag listened to this dude and dialed in his tone to make it sound
Yeah.
like that. I mean, it even to me at least, and I didn't know anything about the comparison between them and Pantera.
Yeah.
I just listened to them and said, "Wow, this sounds just like Pantera." And then
Right.
that's when CK told me about this whole thing.
Right.
So I
If
knew
you
nothing
can-
about it, and I picked it out
Yeah.
right away. You know.
Try to go back and see if you could find Pantera's earlier stuff.
Yeah, the hair metal.
His tone
stuff.
sounds nothing like that.
No, I
So,
think
you
that's a
know-
lot of it because a lot of the Pantera sound is Dimebag's tone, which is wicked. But when you hear the dude from Exhorder, I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it came
no,
from.
it's
It
the same
sounds
thing.
just like
exactly.
it.
It's like that's
To me,
metal.
I mean, I think it sounds a lot like it. So
The tone's there, but he ain't had the riffs that Dime had. As a guitarist, I'm saying there ain't no way that I would pick Exhorder's guitarist over Dimebag, but just as a musician.
Right,
that's all I'm
because
saying.
he had that fucking goddamn, like you said, the riffs.
Yeah,
The tone,
yeah.
yes, but at the same
Yeah.
time, Dime just like did his thing. He was like, like.
But
just
see, that's
killed
what's
it.
so hard for me is because I never compared those two bands really. Growing up in the 90s, there wasn't the comparison there. It wasn't
Right.
until later that
Right.
everybody brought all that up. You know?
right,
Right.
interesting. Well, very cool. Anything else on Exhorder, CK, before we move into your next?
That's pretty much it for Exhorder. I mean,
I'm excited about your Lost Classic, CK.
are you really?
Yes,
You
big
like-
time.
Well, since Joey mentioned it, the Lost Classic today is Mother Love Bone Apple.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, Casman's saying he's talking about Mother Love Bone. I'm fascinated.
And if nobody knows who Mother Love Bone is, they were pre-Pearl Jam.
Yep.
And but they're a totally different sound. I mean, they were kind of like a, I don't want to say like a Guns N' Roses type of hard rock metal.
I like Guns N' Roses more than I like fucking Pearl Jam.
Yeah, for sure.
But Andrew Wood was definitely a charismatic lead singer for that band. And the band included Jeff Ament for Pearl Jam and Mike McCready. I think it was Mike McCready. I could be wrong. No, Stone Gossard. Stone Gossard. It was Stone Gossard. I'm sorry. But
Yeah, quit
funny
fucking
thing
up,
is-
CK.
is if Andrew Wood never died, where would that leave Pearl Jam? Would have Mother Love Bone been as big as Pearl Jam?
Right.
And that album Apple is just a great hard rock metal. What do you want to call it? I don't care what you call it, but it's just a great album with some great songs. And it's a band I dug.
That's cool. Very cool. Well, that's always good to get a lost classic, something that you dig out of your collection and say, hey, go check this out. Some good stuff come of this.
CK classic, like fucking let's fuck shit up, bro.
Now, speaking of fucking shit up, people could join that 666 Club. We've had some new members here, so if you're not in the 666 Club, then you're missing out. Go to patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. And for $3 a month, you can get some great content, VIP access, discounts on merch, karaoke songs as soon as they're done, and all that good shit. So join the 666 Club. Any other metal news, CK? I know we got a lot of coronavirus shit going on with bands and stuff.
I just saw today that Gary Holt did have was diagnosed with coronavirus.
Okay, but he's doing
feeling
okay
better
though.
Now. Chuck Billy, I understand, his wife are pretty much getting better. And then I found out Steve DiGiorgio has it.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah, he just found out he has it. So,
Jesus.
And as far as I know, Will Carroll from Death Angel's on a ventilator, so I don't know.
I heard that. Wow.
How well he's doing. Hopefully, he pulls through. I know the original guitarist from Riot
died
Louis,
from
I
it.
forget his last
he
name,
died
but
from
he
Joe
died from
Diffie
it. Yeah.
died.
Yeah, Joe Diffie, too. Damn.
Well, fuck Joe Diffie. This is metal.
Prop me up beside the jukebox when I die.
Now, Joey, you get some distro. You're doing pretty hot now, even with the coronavirus going on. You're still doing your distro?
As far as what I'm doing right now, I don't want to bring up HOI too long. It's still a go right now, but we know that's probably not going to happen, so I'm probably going to reschedule. But what I am doing a lot more of right now is with the Fuck the Ass Records distro. Look it up, FTA Records with a Z on Facebook. Check out my merch list. I've got all kinds of stuff. Get
Buy
you some
some
new
shit.
shit to listen to while you're fucking stuck at home doing nothing.
That's right. That's
Like,
right. Support the
new
underground.
metal, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, you sick ass
purchase
deal.
some metal from Joey.
Yes.
Nice.
I also do have a new CD, and since we've been sitting in a quarantine-ish area, I've actually gotten pretty far on that and only have a couple songs left. So
Awesome, dude.
Not bad.
Awesome. Very cool. Always good to hear about what Goremonger's got going on, and so very cool. I think we've done plenty metal education.
Wait, there's one more thing.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
King Diamond's re-releasing Fatal Portrait on CD and
Yes.
Vinyl
And vinyl.
and Abigail.
Yeah.
And it's going back to the old remasters.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
you're
awesome.
it's not a remaster. It's going back to the original masters from '86 and '87 for those
Does
albums.
it make it more clean?
Remasters are a strange thing because sometimes it could make it sound cleaner. I mean, all the King Diamond stuff that's remastered sounds great. But there's other stuff that I got there where the original masters actually sound better.
Right.
And the remasters are just, so loud that Eclipse.
Some are too polished too. It's just not really what you like.
Yeah, it
hearing.
doesn't sound real.
And I'm also going to be an asshole to you and Pete. I fucking hate King Diamond.
Oh, what a loss.
Your loss.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
whatever. I fucking hate King Diamond. I fucking hate King Diamond.
Well,
Whenever
that's
I
all right.
come to visit, I'm gonna bring all my King Diamond shirts. And that's all I'm gonna wear.
I'll burn them, dude.
And when he gets drunk and passes out, we'll paint him like King
That
Diamond.
would be the best.
Oh, dude, that would be like the most classy shit in
That's
the
something that
world.
needs
Dude.
to happen.
That would be funny. And I said when he gets drunk and passes
Right.
out.
He
too.
said when,
It's
not
not
if.
going to be
He didn't
if.
say if. He said when.
There's no if about that.
Yeah, no. Like, when this motherfucker's down, we're fucking him up.
All right, CK. Well, we're done here in metal. So what is next, man? We got a big one tonight. What's going on here, dude?
Yeah, we're about ready to get our mayhem on.
Say something that leaves your body shaking. Make you wanna tear a hole right through the jaw. Life will beat when rhythm speaks and it causes
Is your anger getting the best of you? Is your fragile sanity fraying at both ends? Call us at Bowen Anger Management, a division of Benoit Anger Management. Before you go crazy!
I feel myself slipping away. Like I want to chop her fucking head off. If she won't stop talking to me.
Don't lose your cool. Don't chop your girlfriend up to pieces and bake her with carrots and onions at 350 degrees for 2 hours. We can help.
The voices are telling me to see what her flesh tastes like. Maybe I should give it a try. I like chicken.
Call Bowen Anger Management today at 1-800-WHO-DAT-CORPSE, a division of Benoit Anger Management!
What the fuck? Love doing those fake
I'm not gonna
commercials,
lie.
man.
I'm not gonna lie. I
Wow.
love the way fucking Brian's just over here laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Brian, what'd you
the
think
fuck?
of that, dude?
That was fucking awesome.
Little Bowen Anger Management.
Yeah.
Little division of Benoit Anger Management. Those are our favorite commercials. They're so bad, they're funny, though. In an awful way. It's not something to joke about, but goddamn, it's funny.
Right.
So it's a very politically incorrect show. We continue on into the Mayhem segment, probably the most disturbing part of the show for that sort of thing. And so we're doing some Mayhem here tonight. CK, you're still there. We're doing this in a very strange way, though.
Yeah, and it seems to be working right now.
Yeah, you're recording
for me,
yourself on your end, but we're hearing you through a fucking speakerphone because something weird happened. In the interim, CCK falls over. The scythe that was next to him falls and almost takes out Brian's daughter.
Yeah.
Very strange here tonight, so it is definitely
This
weird.
cracker over here being an asshole.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, CK, and so apparently
Yes, it
just
is.
something's in the air here, so I'm not sure what's going on. But we're going to keep going, and of course, before the commercial, we played some Exhorder, the song Hollowed Sound off the, or Hallowed Sound off that last album, the new one. So, Brian, what is the latest with the Dark History Convention? I know you've got one coming up. We're excited. We've been to the last two.
Yep.
And we're excited to be at number 3. And so what's going on? The dates this year are different, though.
Yeah, October 10 and 11 this year.
Okay.
New location as well, the I Hotel in Champaign.
Yeah, that's a nice place, man.
Yeah, it's really nice. They're actually can't even show pictures of what they're doing because they're building a brand new convention center that is supposed to open September 1.
Oh, no
Oh,
shit.
wow.
And we will have all of that. It's
nice.
giant
Gonna be
hall.
number one in the new shit.
No, I think number 2.
Either whatever, dude.
Still,
That's
That's
fucking
awesome,
badass.
though.
Still, yeah, I think
No,
we're
that's
I
fucking
think we're the
badass, bro.
second event there. It's in the convention hall. There's room for 84 8x8 booths,
Wow.
and there is, I believe, 3 breakout rooms. So I can have panels, I can have the movies.
Awesome.
Basically, everything will be in one hall, but they'll have their own rooms.
Nice.
That's great.
fucking
You know how
badass,
it's
dude.
been switching to get things on stage
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
that'll be
yeah,
nice
been
to
there
be
the last couple
separated.
years. So yeah, you
Yeah.
got to figure out. But when you got
None of
a
that.
way that you can put, like you said, a stage area this way, whatever,
Right.
Yeah,
that's
people
gonna
can
be
actually
awesome.
go in there, really hear what's going on instead of
Exactly.
trying to talk over everybody else.
Exactly, and I mean, so still trying to figure out if we're doing entertainment, probably more panels, probably
Right.
more. But I think the podcast format fits what I would call a panel anyway. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
Right.
totally.
it's definitely just sitting in there. You don't need a big stage setup. You
Right.
don't need PAs everywhere.
Real
You don't-
simple.
You don't need it like it's a rock concert.
Sit there.
Right.
So.
Right.
So we'll have that. Obviously, kind of the built-in publicity with the iHotel. It is a premier site.
And
I
you
mean, it's
got-
right
you
there
got,
on campus.
You got others that have been there in previous years coming, such as Christian St. Booth and
I haven't talked to Chris if he's
not
available.
necessarily
Yeah.
him, but you have
Right.
previous vendors.
I do have some
and
previous
whatnot.
vendors.
Yeah.
Got a whole lot of new ones again too this
Yeah,
year.
I
which
can't
that's
wait,
cool.
dude. I can't
Really
wait to see what
exciting.
you have coming out new.
Yeah, what do you got? What's the kind of the rundown of some of the ones you got that you could tell us about?
Well, we were talking earlier amongst ourselves about Kelsey Winter, Winter's Gore Effects. She does things similar to this. Her big seller appears to be finger
Fingers, yeah.
keychains.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I've
look like
seen
real
that.
fingers.
That's cool.
The Prison Mix that does, I believe that's a lady that you know that she does serial killer greeting cards.
Oh
for all your
yeah,
holidays.
yeah,
Nice.
Jesse. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
for
a
all of your-
professor at ISU
Yeah.
that Jenny works with.
Oh,
yeah,
she does.
Yeah, she's really
yeah.
cool.
It's and her thing is called the Prison Mix. It's old style big ass greeting cards, but there's serial killers on there
Yeah.
for all events.
Yeah,
for
Fuck
they're
yeah,
all
dude.
occasions.
I can't wait for that, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I dropped one today. Merch Massacre. It's another lady that does a lot of vinyl. She has Christmas ornaments that have horror themes and serial killers on there.
Oh, cool.
Mugs, T-shirts, buttons, pens.
yeah.
I mean, the
Awesome.
whole
Donnie
9
coming
yards.
this year?
I told him to hold the date. And Donnie's made our event shirts the last 2 years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. Donnie's
so
the man, dude.
Donnie is, I mean, he and I are, I don't want to say partners, but we partner on my event as far as the merch
Understandable.
goes.
Understandable.
And I know he picked up a ton of shows this year. I told him what the date
Yeah.
was going to be, so I said to keep it open, and he said he would.
Good.
So
Okay.
should have Donnie.
Like I said, we need to get our boy fucking Jason Murder. Get up on
Yeah.
this, dude.
Yeah,
Hit
hit
up
me up.
Brian, dude. Hit him up.
Yeah, anybody out
Get a
there,
booth.
bands, labels,
Anybody
tattoo
that-
artists,
Anybody.
body
Tattoo artists.
piercers.
Come on.
Yeah, let me bring
You know,
that back.
any of that stuff.
We are looking into bringing back tattooing again this year. It's proven to be a little more difficult than I had hoped.
Right.
Simply because the previous time that I did it, I had somebody that knew how to get a hold of the state, get the licensing, and all that
Yeah.
good stuff.
Right.
Oh,
I
right.
don't know the ins and outs of
Right.
that. I don't think it's too tough to figure out, but it's just one more thing. And as
Yeah.
you guys know, I
Right,
pretty
it's
much do
more
it all
work for
myself
you,
anyway.
but yeah,
Right.
if somebody comes in like, I have all the credentials already.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to find. I've been through a couple guys that
That's
I'm not going to put
badass.
them on blast on here, but they said they'd help out, and then they just ghosted on me. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
fuck
so I'm still trying
No.
to find somebody to.
Dark Horror and
Maybe.
History Convent.
Yeah,
Dude.
I mean, just find all over Facebook, Dark History and Horror. I've
Yeah,
got
we'll
a
link to it in the
Facebook page.
episode description
Thank
here
you.
so you guys can check it out. And of course, we always talk about this because we're going to be there again. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a good one, October 10th and 11th.
October 10 and 11.
Champaign, Illinois at the I Center. Is that what it's called?
iHotel.
iHotel
Yes.
on the U of I campus. So that's going to
Yeah.
be fucking awesome.
Right.
I hotel too. I hotel
That's
everybody.
right. Yeah, it's right next to the. I call it the Assembly Hall. I don't care that they call it the State Farm Center.
It'll always
Right.
be
Right
something
next
No,
to it.
yeah,
It's right next to the
exactly.
state-
No, I get it, I
yeah,
get
the
it.
Assembly Hall and the
This
stadium.
is like
are right there.
motherfuckers calling the
Awesome.
fucking
All right down the
Sears
same way.
Tower, whatever they
Yeah,
call
it's
it.
the Sears
Yeah.
Tower,
It's the
dude.
Sears Tower.
It's the Sears Tower.
Like, don't give a shit. That's
All
the Sears
right.
Tower.
Well, that's awesome to hear. We'll touch on that again in the outro to mention again the Dark History Convention.
Sure.
The March Mayhem, though, guys, we've got a big one here tonight. Got the last match of the contest. And so we have done this. We started with 16, and we whittled it down to 8, the Hateful 8, and then the Fucked Up 4. And so this week we got the final match, and it's of course
me and you, bro.
It's CK against Chris, and you guys are playing for our listeners. CK, who are you playing for, man?
I'm playing for Justin.
Awesome, Lexington, Illinois, and then Chris.
I'm playing for Stephanie from Toledo.
Nice. So you guys are both playing for contestants that are trying to win the prize, and the big prize is, of course, the co-host spot here on the podcast to come and do a murder segment with us on Skype or Messenger, but hopefully not through a speaker on a cell phone like we're doing right now.
Yeah, like what we're doing
Hopefully
right
we
now,
figure out why this is doing this.
Luckily, like CK's got his shit recording on his own, so we ain't using this.
Yeah, I know. Thank God for that.
Yeah, that would have
Fuck
been a
yeah,
real
dude.
problem. So good call there. Congrats also to Steven from Chicago, who I was playing for, got eliminated last week, but he got some good prizes out of it, and he's been really cool. So congrats to Steven for winning that. And our final match tonight is who, Joey? We got 2 serial killers going at it tonight.
We got Carl Panzram versus
Nice.
our first lady, Eileen Warner.
Our first lady.
Hey, she said, come Independence Day, she's coming back for us. So
That's
I'm
right.
waiting. 2020 is
damn.
the year.
Yep.
Wow. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, I know we were joking, Brian. You were saying you had some, a take that you thought Eileen was about the one that might be able to stand toe-to-toe with Panzram.
I think so.
man.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Eileen, and I think
No, everybody knows Eileen.
I shouldn't say this, but fuck it, it's this show, right? So
Right.
I could see them in the bar in Florida.
Right.
I think Eileen could take a punch.
No, Eileen,
Yeah. She
she's
dishes
just
them
going to
back
take a
out.
punch.
Yeah, she's tough, man.
I mean, I think I could see her even. Yeah, I could even see her taking a bottle
But
over the
at
head
the same
and staying in
time,
it.
you got Carl Panzram.
Yeah, Carl Panzram is
That
one
motherfucker
tough-
just look at you be like,
Sodomizing fucking fool
Yeah.
there, man.
well, that's all I'm saying. Motherfucker look like, put your fist in my ass. I will put my fist in your face and I will kill you.
yeah,
Like,
Carl
yeah,
Panzram
I
is
mean,
just fucked
Panzram's a
up.
fucking monster, dude.
And I think Panzram is strong as an ox. I think everybody
Dude.
said that.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know what to do with it. I'm giving this a 50-50 shot.
for sure.
So I think,
between Warnos and Panzram, 50-50 shot.
Joey, got anything to throw
I'm
into
going to
this
go
one?
with Eileen just because
You
I
going
think
with
in
Eileen?
this situation, I think that he's going to underestimate her.
Right.
Because
wow.
Panzram isn't going to know at that time that a woman's going to be that brutal like
Oh,
that.
that's
Right,
true.
right.
Yeah,
I get that.
That's funny.
Because we're talking about them in their prime. So
Right.
Right.
Mullet and all
He's
that
gonna be
shit.
like,
So I'm going to go with Eileen just on the basis of pure surprise.
surprise.
Yeah.
Because back in Panzram's day,
Yeah.
women were kind of timidish.
Well, and
yeah.
Panzram probably ain't even looking at her because he don't want to fuck her.
no, he don't want to fuck her. He's just like, I want a little boy booty.
CK,
Yeah, I was going to say maybe that might
what do
be
you
the wild
think?
card. Maybe he walks away from the fight.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not-
he's like, I don't
Yeah,
even
it's
do
not
shit.
his thing.
Exactly.
CK, what do you think about it, man?
I got to go with Panzram.
You going with Panzram? All right.
I think he may underestimate her at first, and then he's just going to unload, and that's it.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Now we've got our listeners hanging on the edge of their seats. Chris, can you tell me what the temperature is right now in Hayworth, Illinois, so we can decide? If it's an odd number, it'll be Panzram. If it's an even number, it's Eileen Warnos.
Hey, CK, you win. It says 82 degrees.
No, if it's 82, then it's Warnos. If it's an
Yeah.
odd number, it was Panzram. An even number, it's
I fucking win.
82.
Holy
No, that's your
I was gonna
percentage.
say, it can't be 82 degrees
that's my
outside.
percentage.
Dude.
Is that your
Fuck.
percentage?
Either way.
I'm not even
I
thinking
don't give a
82
fuck.
degrees.
My fucking weather is still fucking 42. It's still fucking
It's
even.
42. All right. So
Look,
you
did
win.
you say
That is
82?
funny though.
I
82.
did
I
that
didn't even
again.
think about it.
I was sitting there, I was like, wait a minute. Wait.
82 degrees.
No, 42.
It's
Yeah.
42.
42. He's showing his phone to legitimize it.
Yeah.
Joey's verified
damn
it, which means Chris, you win. You
Oh,
beat CK on his
shit.
fucking birthday. And with you winning, that means Stephanie
Hey,
from
Stephanie,
Toledo.
Told you we had this motherfucker.
She wins
dude.
it. So congrats to Justin for winning second place, and Stephanie, of course, for the grand prize.
All we got to do now is just have a party.
That's right. We're gonna pick out
It was all
the
fun. It was
serial
all
killer.
good.
What's that?
It was all good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. That was a really good one because it went on all month and it went to right to the wire there. So that's really awesome. So congrats again to all three contestants. It was a lot of fun. We'll definitely do this again. And thanks again to Michael and Stacy Shawback for coming up with the original idea.
Motherfuckers.
Because it was a good, God
Michael
for
got
fucking
mad.
bid, we don't mention Michael
I know.
again.
Michael got pissed.
Oh, I
as
know he
fuck,
did,
bro.
I know he did. He had his fucking disturbed fucking panties in a fucking knot over that shit, you know.
I was just gonna say, give him a Disturbed CD, he'll be fine.
So
Michael-
all right,
No, when Michael looked at me, like, it was me and Stacy, motherfucker.
I
was
know.
like, damn,
All
what?
hostile about it.
I didn't even know what he was talking about.
All right. Well, we tore up some mayhem tonight, guys. So I think it's time to hit that fucking outro.
Hell yeah.
I had to play some Megadeth, Chris. That's your Desert Island album you're talking about.
will kill brother, spilling blood across the land, killing for religion, something I don't understand.
Wow. That'll be the next soundbite I use. That's going to replace I need to punch myself in the dick when I hear that.
Every time I hear that, I'll punch myself in the dick.
Awesome to have Brian Ward here with us for the whole episode,
Brian,
and
dude.
his
Thank
daughter
you, bro.
Cheyenne for
No,
putting up with our
Cheyenne,
Thank y'all,
stupidity.
dude.
Thank you,
Fuck
guys.
yeah.
Definitely don't miss the Dark History and Horror Convention, October 10th and 11th in Champaign, Illinois. Again, go to the episode description. We'll link to Brian's page. But if you type in Dark History and Horror Convention on Facebook, you'll find him easy enough.
Oh, yeah. No.
And like it,
It's probably
follow
gonna be a
it so
bunch
that
of
this
pictures
way.
of Brian's tattoos.
Yeah, Brian's got the
Brian's
most
got
bad
some of the
fucking
most
tattoos.
nasty tattoos, dude.
Yeah, we went over that in the interview. That was
Yeah.
so awesome
Yeah,
because we did the
I appreciate
cage
that.
match
Yeah,
based on
his
two of his tattoos, which
Yeah, I was
was
gonna
funny.
say, you were
Yeah,
looking
no,
at
that's
the
just
Gacy head
nuts.
up there. I mean, you
Yeah, he's
the-
got some really cool shit.
Hell yeah.
Fucking some of the best tattoo work I've ever fucking
Oh,
seen, man.
God, dude.
Thank you, gents.
Definitely really good stuff. Once again, we mentioned it earlier, PTSD and suicide, nothing to joke about. Our podcast is meant to be entertainment and not serious most of the time. But this is one thing you do need to take seriously. If you're having thoughts about hurting yourself, please reach out to somebody. We've all lost too many friends this way, so please reach out. If you need some help, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the United States is 1-800-273-8255. So tonight, the bumper
I kind of
music.
want to fucking be pissed off because I'm out of booze.
Yeah, well, I hope you don't, break shit here,
I'm not out of booze either.
All right, well, that's good. I'm waiting for the McCormick's to come out. It's the
Oh, it's
outro.
been coming
Oh,
out.
motherfucker. I've been out at least once since
Oh,
we've been
okay.
here.
Bumper music tonight by Exhorder, Creator, and Megadeth. CK's intro music. Who is that by, CK?
That is by Crisis.
Nice. And Chris, the Murder Metal Mayhem intro.
Oh, wait. Michael reminded me.
One above 11.
Yeah, above 12.
Oh, wait.
That's
No,
pretty
above
stupid.
11. Above 11.
He also said that
One above
exact
11.
thing last week. Oh, Michael reminded
Motherfucking low fucking 12. Fuck you.
That's right. SpellboundEffectsandArt.com is our sponsor. Incredible online catalog of silicone body parts. Hands, feet, heads, fingers, whatever else you desire. Tony has an amazing Ed Gein inspired stuff. Human skin lamps, aprons, fucking cowboy hats. I mean, all kinds of crazy shit. So go support him at spellboundeffectsandart.com. Thanks to all you guys listening out there. We do really appreciate it. We continue to see numbers rolling in that just blow my mind. Just really humbled by you guys and your interest in the show, so we appreciate it. All right, we got some good listener comments this time around. Chris, you want to read, or Joey, you want to read that first one, dude?
Chris is like, no, hold up. Yeah, so Dexter Rock 666.
There we go.
He commented, I got the book you guys did. It's fucking awesome. My mom saw it laying around in my apartment, so it was funny explaining it to her. You guys rule.
Hilarious right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Chris, you want to do the next one there, dude?
No.
No?
Yeah.
All right, he's going to read the next one here. Randall?
Shit. Randall Myers commented, I can't believe next month it will be 2 years since the podcast started. I live in San Jose, California, and I've heard each one since you've done. I always listen on Sunday night when you guys start my work. It's fucking great. Well, I read that weird. I don't give a shit. Fucking Randall, you're the goddamn motherfucking shit. God damn.
What
it.
about you, CK? Are you able to read tonight? Can you read number 3 for us?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Roxanne Lytle, 79, commented, have you guys covered any Russian metal bands? How about Poker Face?
We've played
no, we
Poker
haven't
Face a
yet.
couple times. They're fucking
Yeah.
killer, man.
I'd have to do some research on some Russian bands. I'm sure we could do something. At some
Yeah,
point.
that's kind of a cool suggestion. I thought that was good.
No, I think it's weird that they suggested Poker Face, but we
Yeah,
played Poker
we have
Face.
played them a couple
I mean,
times.
it's not a big band that I've ever listened to.
No, we
but
played
at
them
the
when
same-
we did the Chessboard Killer because they had that
Exactly.
song
Yeah.
about him. Yeah.
Bakushkin.
but
Yes. And then, Joey, what about that last one, dude?
Last comment comes from London Calls 54. I loved the Black Death episode. A friend told me about you, and since I'm off work, I started checking it out. The Black Death episode was really good. All of them have been great so far. I live in Birmingham, England, home of Black Sabbath.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, London's been in the
Is
top
it-
10
that's like our,
cities.
That's like our third comment from England. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
fucking England, just crushing it. That's awesome. Don't forget to check out MurderMetalMayhem.com. Listen to all the podcasts and bonus content. Also, go check out the Murder Metal Mayhem YouTube channel if YouTube will ever let me publish the My Corona video that I've done, and they will not let me upload it. Fuck that, but I'm going to keep trying. Follow us on Twitter at Get Your Murder On, and like us on Facebook. Join the 666 Club on patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. We appreciate that. Don't miss the bonus episode next week, the full interview with Dr. Catherine Ramsland. It's really good. It's about 40 minutes. A lot of fucking serial killer discussion. She is on just about every serial killer doc you've ever watched.
Yeah, no,
She is
like,
on there fucking constantly, man. It's
and the
fucking
fact that
almost
she
funny,
did
really.
it- Now, granted, I was in jail when Pete did the interview, but at the same time, the fact that she actually took the time out of her life
Yeah.
to do the interview with our dumbass
I
podcast
agree,
is
dude.
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
she was really
So,
nice.
yeah.
Ever since you did that interview, it's like every
I know.
crime show I watch.
Every
I
time.
see her and I go to Laura. I'm like, Pete interviewed her. Pete interviewed her.
Yeah. And like, she could be like 45 or she could be like fucking 23.
Yeah,
Like, it
she's
doesn't matter
been
what
doing
you
them for
watch.
20 plus
Doing it
years.
forever,
Yeah,
dude.
she's great and she's really nice and she's very smart and knows a lot about the topic of forensic psychiatry. So very, very interesting. I had to destroy another karaoke song this week. Of course, this one inspired by Zack Bowen and his decision to jump out of the 5th floor
Might
of
as
the
well
Omni Hotel. So until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your fist kicking you down. Fuck it.
I it to get to one thrill. Oh, can't you see me standing here? I got my back against a record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. Oh, can't you see what I mean? Oh, might as well jump. Might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Fucking go ahead and jump. Oh, hey you, who said that? Baby, how you been? Say you won't know until we begin. Well, can't you see me standing here? I got my back against a record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. Oh, can't you see what I mean? Oh, might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Might as well jump. Fuck it. Go ahead and jump. Jump.